I'm Mason. I'm number 8. I play QB, and this is my mic'd up. Tackle! Jesus! Oh, yeah! You guys have to freaking tackle! Good job, QB. I ain't done nothing. Don't I look good, though, handing the ball off? Set! Hey! I'm going to. Church sucks, bro. She's the worst player we got. Oh.
She's not being held, but she's mad at me. It makes me sad.
Shut up.
I stand by my sister. I stand by my sister. My team I believe. My team I believe. We're strong and united. We're strong and united. Passion family. Passion family. I play with integrity. I play with integrity. I give it my all. I give it my all. I push to the pain. I push to the pain. I pass the fall. I pass the fall. I'll never give up on my sister, my team. I'll never give up on my sister, my team. With heart. With heart. With body. With body. With goal. With goal. With dream. With dream. I give it my word and our passion creed. I give it my word and our passion creed. To protect. Protect. To build. To build. Succeed. Succeed. We believe. We believe. We believe. We believe. We believe. One team on 3. 1, 2, 3. One team.
Women's football is game-changing. I've been playing since I was a little kid, and playing wide receiver has always been my favorite. I was the kid who was out diving everywhere, doing the most. It completely changed my life. I came from a situation that I was in that was not really good, and found football. It's given me the ability to continue playing sports, the ability to be dominant. And when we were younger, we're kind of put in this box, and there's this expectation of like what women are supposed to be. It's special to get big name brands, especially like Wilson, to back us. It's like Wilson has been around. It is something when we were kids, we were playing with Wilson balls. So to now have that company and that brand recognize like, hey, this is women's football. they're doing a great job. Like, we want to back them. We want to continue the growth. If you get to that position where the things that you've been doing have translated onto the field and people are seeing it and the rest of the league considers you one of them people, it means that you're doing the right thing. There's always been women's athletes out there. They just haven't had the platform to do so. For me, it's always football, but at the end of the day, it's about like making a bigger impact on the people around you.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Bear Rivers. I'm number 10 for Cincinnati Cougars. I'm a linebacker, and this is my mic'd up.
You gonna crush somebody today?
Oh, absolutely. I thought you said I was the problem. You're talking.
Kelsey said something smells like something there.
It's not me. I was supposed to keep this a family show. No.
Exactly.
Look, you want to sniff my armpit?
Let me smell your armpit.
Do your job. Kill.
Say it with me. Kill.
Kill. Kill. Kill.
Kill.
Do you have the ADHD?
Undiagnosed. When they try to give me medicine, my parents said I just need a sport. So here's my sport. That was a little sketchy, but she pulled it in. I think I was about to have to play defense. We need 6 points. I tell you, I become a cheerleader out of it.
I like you more in the field.
Luther, 36. I thought we was playing telephone. Come on, it's right there. It's right there. Yeah! She juked the out of me. Oh! Cup it up! Yes! On them, right? Because they doing all the extra stuff. Yeah, we need that. We need that. That was a flag. Unnecessary roughness at the play, something like that. Face mask, something. They've been pulling face masks. I'm surprised we got it. Y'all hit that one girl so hard, it pushed the camera into my mouth. I ain't gonna lie to you. The killer kicking us. The kicker killing us. Y'all scaring me. Yes! Nope, it was a shoulder. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I love my offense, but they're killing us with these deep balls.
Put the clock back to 1:30.
Come on, Luther.
Who's Luther?
Luther's the guy running the clocks. He be asleep.
Oh. But they can't say they smashed us.
I didn't hear that. Yeah. Well, not the end that we wanted, but they felt it. That's a wrap for this mic'd up. They felt it. Come on, I got a mouthpiece in. I tried.
A new sponsor this year at David Hertzberg Steel Recycling. Every day is Earth Day.
father wanna feel.
Let's go, Cougars!
Hi, I'm Jessica. People often ask me how to change the oil on my car. I don't know how to change the oil on my car. In fact, I'm not even Jessica. However, I am here to tell you to come to our game this Saturday against Pittsburgh Passion. Don't miss it.
This group right here, all around, is football. We're all football players. Y'all are football players, okay?
Down. Tachiela's going to go straight ahead. Receiver caught touchdown. They're back by the what a and Houdini acts. She works another tackle. They've got one ready for me.
My name is Alex Cosby.
And what do you coach?
I'm the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Cougars.
Right, donuts, I like it. Do we have some goals for the game?
Goals for every single game we got is 2 turnovers. We get 2 turnovers, chances of us winning go sky high.
Do we have any season goals?
Season goals for the defense, we would probably be an average of less than 12 points a game. That's the average that I've gone with every season I've coached football. Usually if you keep a team under 12 points, that means a W.
What do you love about football?
What don't I love? Everything. The community that comes along with football, the chance to get anger and animosity out of your system in a very positive way.
What player would you not want to take a hit from?
Church and Bear, either one. Church and Bear, they scare me.
What do you want to say to the fans today?
I would love to see the fans packed, filled with Cougar fans, and thank them for coming out. And I want to hear them from the sideline, being loud and loud and loud on third downs.
How many points do you need to get a running clock?
I think 32, I believe.
Okay, cool. All right, friend. And tell me your name.
Chuck Cantrell.
What do you coach?
I'm the offensive coordinator and O-line coach.
What's happening today?
We're going to go win a football game.
And how's the Cougars looking?
I think we're looking solid today. Yeah.
What kind of things have we been working on, or maybe improved on?
We've worked a lot on our passing game recently, and then just trying to get better at what we already do well.
What player would you not want to take a hit from?
There's a couple, but Church comes to mind immediately.
What gets you excited about football?
I love everything about football. It's the chess match, the strategy, and all that.
What should people look forward to seeing today?
I think an exciting, hard-hitting game. I think we're going to come out with a lot of energy and just look to dominate from the start.
Do we have some season goals we'd like to talk about?
I mean, I'm really a one game at a time kind of coach. I really try not to get ahead of myself and think too far down the road. Obviously, playoffs are there in the championship, but it all starts one game at a time. So that's really the focus.
What makes the Cougars just a great team to coach?
It's a lot of fun. The camaraderie on the team, the way that everybody kind of just joins together as a team in practice and in the games and everything. And of course, on any team you get your you get your bad days and everything, but overall, everybody's got everybody, so it's awesome.
What would you like to say to the fans today?
Come out and support, and let's go kick some ass.
Tell me what your name is.
Janine Church.
What do you play?
I play outside linebacker.
Are you lethal?
Of course I am.
Okay. What goes through your head right before you're gonna hit somebody?
I hope I don't miss.
What's your walk-up song?
My walk-up song? Oh wow. That's a hard one. I have so many. I think it just depends on the day.
Okay. If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
Well, I'm already a firefighter, but it would absolutely be something physical. I've always lived for sports and work.
Who's the hardest hitter on the team?
Yeah, Bear got it.
Which teammate do you want in a zombie apocalypse to like you?
That's a good question. I'll need somebody really resourceful and tough for that one. I would say I always pick Lou. She's my favorite teammate.
Describe your game day mentality in one word.
Calm. I like to center myself.
How do you feel when you're running out on the field?
Excited. There's nothing like it in the world. I feel so in my element. I just feel like I'm just meant to do this. Like I just want to run out there and enjoy every minute of it.
How many years have you been playing?
This is year 6 for me, actually.
Tell me what other teams you played on.
I started out my first year with Cincinnati Sizzle. My next 2 years after that, I played 2 years with Columbus Chaos. And the last 4 years I've been with the Cincinnati Cougars. The Cincinnati Cougars.
What do people underestimate about this team?
About this team? Our speed. Our speed.
What's our culture like?
Family. We're all very close. We spend a lot of time together outside of practice and outside of games. It's very much a sisterhood. Almost a social club, if you would call it that.
What message do you have for Cougar fans?
For Cougar fans, we make sure that we make it entertaining every single game. I love making new fans because they always come back. It's always surprising when people see us play for the first time.
Anything else you want to say?
Go Cougars.
My name is Rachel Petula.
What position do you play?
Ooh, I play wide receiver and I sometimes play defensive back.
And how long have you played with the Cougars?
I've been around the Cougars for 3 years. I played 2 years ago and I found out I was pregnant and I played that whole season. And then last year I took the season off to play and I just coached, and then I came back this year as a player.
Have you played football before the Cougars?
I did 1 year of high school. I was a sophomore and I was the smallest on the team and I had no business being out there.
What did you play with?
I was a wide receiver. I was like 5th string wide receiver.
You're like small and fast.
I was very small and I got pummeled a lot.
If you weren't playing football, what sport would you play?
I was playing competitive softball before I played football, and then I gave that up to play football.
Amazing. What is your pregame music choice?
Rock.
Certain song?
No, not really. Just anything rock really gets me hyped.
What do you like to eat after a game?
After a game, everything. Pasta, steak, anything. I'm hungry.
Describe your game day mentality.
Kind of just hang out, relax, and then once walkthroughs start, it's kind of like lock in, focus.
Who is the funniest person on the team?
The funniest? Ooh. I'm going to say Angela Mason because she has such a dry sense of humor and it's my type of humor.
Who brings the most energy on game day?
Rincey.
What motivates you before kickoff?
I just think about who I'm playing for and who's supporting me through this. So my husband, my dad, my whole family, and my son.
What are we trying to do for the fans this year?
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully win. Hopefully you go back to Canton. Have a lot of fun.
What is your favorite part about your position?
Scoring is really nice when that happens. Just catching the ball is equally as good, but scoring.
What does that feel like when you catch?
When you see it in and you just like have it and you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't think there's a word for it. It's euphoric. It's amazing.
What message do we have for Cougar fans tonight?
Go Cougars? Question mark?
Michael, if you don't do it, I think they kick you out of your league.
I think you might be right. I think that they won't let you through the tunnel there coming into town if you aren't wearing a version of those two colors.
But Cincinnati, who has been on the rise the last couple of years, just kind of look at what Travis Conner has done, and now being a part of this program in his second year as the head coach. A squad coming off of an odd win against the Misfits, 14-0, or pretty much half a game. But 2 big touchdown runs, a lot of good things coming out of that, especially defensively.
The defense looked very well. And in the first half, the offense moved the ball very well. Second half, they just sputtered. They couldn't finish. And that's something they could remedy before they play tonight, because they're not going to – if they get inside the 20-yard line and do not score good points, it's going to be a long night for the Cougars.
I am almost positive that at least 2 of the officials had the same problem I had of just trying to find the lane to get to the stadium.
Yeah, if you're not from this area, it's not an easy place, and the roads come and go. It's a beautiful campus, and I've seen this school really blossom over the last 20 years into having great facilities.
So Pittsburgh is a return game. Denasha Harris leading that, and just an absolute speedster, plays in a lot of different locations, and people already chiming in about what they think the score of this game is going to be on the live stream, and there are quite a few extremes if you read the chat bar on the side, but just such a great afternoon to get this started. You look at the weather as we get ready to start straight up 7 o'clock. As it stands right now, 74 degrees, partly cloudy. Wind, not a huge issue, just 5 miles an hour to the west, but you'll notice as we go along, just on the top half of the picture, there's 2 strobe lights that I think are just having themselves.
I was noticing the same thing. At first, I thought it was like some kind of opening the game kind of show they were doing, but it hadn't stopped.
You just got to get a hype. Cincinnati in the blue and orange and ready for the opening kickoff. And you could just pretty much see on the prowl Lauren Carter back there ready to put a boot in, saying, hey, let's go. It's just a terrific night. And the first of 2 times that these teams meet. You go back and you look at June 13th going all the way to Pittsburgh, but Cincinnati needs a good start defensively, and Pittsburgh's going to try to spoil that.
Curious to see if they choose to kick deep or if they squib it.
Here's your answer, Carter. A little bit more of a squib kick than anything. Ball will be fielded just in front of the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh's got room down the left side, and a nice return out to the 45 on the opening kickoff. Talked about Denasha Harris. Don't make a mistake with her.
Yeah. And that person making the tackle, Janine Church, you're going to see her name a lot tonight. She is kind of the enforcer for the Cougars, and the linebacking core is the key to this defense. If they play well, to your point, I think they can slow down this Pittsburgh offense. But if they have some missed tackles or don't play up inside out, this could be big plays from that Pittsburgh offense.
4th-year quarterback Marcelina Chavez now under center. 1 back behind, 3 off to her right. Pitch out play coming right side, and you go right back to trying to just make something work. Bigs on bigs. And a good gain of about 3 or 4 on the first play of the game.
Yeah, this is a situation where they're trying to get to that outside leverage. The Cougars are running that 3-5 defense, and if you can get that gap between the down end and the outside linebacker, there's going to be a lane there to run.
Also, Napo, do not make a mistake with her. She will disappear. Now on the left hip here on a 2nd down. Fake to her. Look at the reverse. You get the quarterback out throwing blocks, and there's generally room to operate, but not much across the 50, and a hit stick. How about coming out of the secondary and just laying the boom?
That's Pasha Rivers, who's known as Bear. And that's why they call her Bear, because she bears the load when she comes. And she's had several of those highlight type of hits this year.
How big is it, too, that where she made the stop, it's a 3rd and 1 play, but it doesn't seem to be bothering Pittsburgh as they go out of that eye. You got to be in Steel City. You got to be tough. The nation's leading tackler is a handoff to the fullback this time. Will lead to a first down. And you get in the middle linebacking core, you're probably not getting very much. Gain of 4, though, and a first down for Pittsburgh.
It's actually, I think this hurry-up, no-huddle offense is actually throwing off the Cougar defense a little bit. They seem to be a little slow getting to their lined-up positions.
Number 2 offense in Pittsburgh, number 1 defense in Cincinnati in terms of points. So the tight end moving from left to right now is the first time inside. Another big handoff right side back up through the hole. And I would imagine, you know the head coach pretty well, and he's thinking right now, we cannot continue to give up 5, 6, 7 yards at a time.
Oh, absolutely not. You got to set the pace. Well, that was a nice tackle by the kicker there, Lauren Carter, who made a nice job. Otherwise, that play was going for many more yards.
Trying to add to what she did with that pick 6 last week. Trips left now as the quick throw out. Oh, and met immediately. That is almost a lateral. How many times have you ever seen a play where the corner is being, let's say, held up and still able to push back into the receiver and make the play?
Really nice play. And not with that, she played it inside or outside in, so she kept her outside shoulder free, protecting the out. Really impressive play, and it was right on the edge of being the lateral, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't know. Immediately, everybody just kind of turned. Fine. Second down turns into 3. Now is the keeper off left side, down across the 30 to 25. Out of bounds around the 23 for a big gain for Pittsburgh and a first down.
That's the quarterback, and she's a runner. She's got some wheels. When she got to the outside, she put distance between the linebacker core, and then again the cornerbacks had to step up and make that play, stop it. But they're moving at it again.
Chavez averages about 10.5 yards per carry. Just under 200 yards, one of the top 10 rushers. And here's a good one, too. Napo off the right side. Had some ideas of going inside the 20, then got pushed back for just about 3 yards.
Because as I mentioned earlier, if they're going to hit that crease right there, the Cougars are going to have to bring that outside backer up. They can't let her sit back 3-5 yards and just give up those 4 or 5 yards off the line of scrimmage like that.
Snapo's a big fan of snowboarding, but she's looking for an extreme sport here. See a quarterback keeper again, just that little split option across the 20, down to the 15, down inside the 5, pushing down.
End zone.
And into the end zone. So a 20-yard touchdown run at 12:51 in the first, and Pittsburgh imposing their will up front.
Yeah, that is not a good start for the Cougars. And again, what you're seeing is a great job by the wide receivers from the passion out there doing that stock back and staying on the defensive backs and preventing them to come up and force her to cut it up. So great job by those wide receivers in their blocking.
This is where Pittsburgh shines. Their kicker, and Cody Johnson, 6 for 6 on extra points this year. She's an assistant women's soccer coach at Seton Hill, so I feel like she knows a couple of things. Trying to make it 7-0, straight up, and no good.
The typical announcer jinx right there.
I'm not going to be allowed in Pittsburgh anymore.
And as they say, missing the extra point never usually is a good thing. But right now, and you mentioned it, the Cougars have got to sit there and talk about what can we do to slow down this offense, because it wasn't like there was one big play. They consistently were able to get big chunks of yards, and specifically on the outside.
Sometimes it's hard jinxing people. It's like I'm Danhausen. It just doesn't work. But you look at Pittsburgh in their last game, they beat the DC Divas on May the 9th. They kicked a field goal at the horn to win it. So I didn't even get to that part, I guess, for the jinx. You're welcome, Cincinnati.
About the kick, from our perspective, it looked good. Obviously it was either wide. I had to be wide right, I believe, but the hole, the kick, everything looked like a normal. And maybe the official heard you say that and decided to jinx you, and
he just felt it. He said there were too many nice things. No Permani brothers for that guy. Well, Cincinnati gets a chance now after the return here to show what their offense could do at about 26 points a game. The number 7 team in the country. Right now, bathed in sunshine and a couple of horrible clouds. Let's try to go a little bit. It's kind of a deep squib kick, and it bounces right off the face mask back down to the 25.
Yeah, that's not what you. That was smart by the returner, and I believe that's their running back there, Kylie Taylor, who did a nice job of instead of trying to pick it up, just getting on the ball. But if they catch that cleanly, they're up at the 45 or at the 40 at least. But you bobble it, and bad things happen.
I just got told I'm too loud. I think you're probably not loud enough. It's not the first time today I've been told that. So 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Angela Mason, the Division III national title game MVP up in Canton a couple of years ago, has really been just, the nicest way to say around. Now 20 years with multiple organizations, but her mic'd up is maybe my favorite thing. And Cincinnati will run on 1st and 10 and trying to use their big front line to pick up 6 right out of the gate.
Well, you talked about, Mike, before the game, about the offensive line being the key, and that right there, if they can continue to do that, things will go good for the Cougars. And that was Kylie Taylor, who's more of their speed back. If she gets in the outside, she's gone. But if they can get her in a crease up the middle like that, could be big things for the Cougar offense.
You can kind of look at her, too, in her expanded role last year. Obviously, with having Kiana Williams more as a running back, was the feature back with 1,000 yards. But expanding the role from Kylie, who just passed her total from last year on that rush. As the
nice play.
I bought it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I bought the handoff, and almost immediately Cincinnati able to pick up a first down into Pittsburgh territory.
Very, very nice.
I had to look and see how they faked it on the replay.
What
so
they
just
did
the
is
quick inside.
They run up in that tight formation or a bunch formation, and that's where they run it. And then they faked it. They pull the guard, and they just did a little just simple counter from one of those tight end positions, and it was wide open.
It's a terrific run by Janine Church. But that offensive line having a 2-time All-American on the left side of Michaela Breland, that also helps. Now the stack of the right. And Cincinnati, again, able to move the ball here on their first drive. Taylor trying to find a hole. Gets to the 39, picks up about 4.
Nice run. They'll be happy with that. They can increase 4 or 5 yards. What they can't afford, this Cincinnati offense can't have negative plays. They aren't great on 3rd and long, so if they can keep it 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, their offense will run the way it is. If they get themselves in 3rd and long, 3rd and 9, that's where they struggle.
So the ball at the 39-yard line. Cincinnati on 2nd down at about 6. Working off some time. Handoff to Taylor again. Straight up the middle. Power and power. Gets to the 35-yard line. Short and manageable 3rd downs.
That's what they want to have. A nice job again by the offensive line by creating a seam. A nice job by Kylie hitting that hold and then holding onto the ball. In St. Louis, she had a little bit of a problem late in the situation where they were able to strip the ball from her.
So again, 2nd down just outside of 2, but I know, obviously you have a pretty close relationship with the head coach. I love that Angela said the quarterback-coach relationship is kind of a fascinating thing. She referred to Travis as a fun sponge. He's got to be pretty fair and fun right now, though, as another big run down to the 29 for a first down.
Well, Travis definitely has the passion for the game. There's no doubt about that. And he has really enjoyed his relationship here with the Cincinnati Cougars. It's been very important to him. And it's obviously, as you know, if you watched the amount of time and effort they put into it, it's you can tell it's a true passion for him and the coaching staff. I know a lot of the other coaches as well, the defensive coordinator, the linebackers coach, all guys who just love football.
So you wouldn't call him a fun sponge?
I wouldn't call him a fun sponge. I'm sure his wife wouldn't call him that.
Well, if your captain and one of the leaders of your team does, it's got to be a little bit true. So the handoff, just consistent running right up the middle, but there's just not a lot of meat to this bone right now. I think Pittsburgh finally kind of figured that out. They got the push they've been looking for.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. They went that's their fullback who carried that ball, and she does a great job in short yardage, and that's what she picked up, short yardage. She doesn't have the burst that Kylie has. I'm sure they wanted Kylie to get a break. She'd carried the ball like 4 or 5 straight times, but that's not her forte, is those big plays. Her forte is when they 3rd and 2. That's when you see it go to her fullback.
To be fair, though, she picked up about 50 yards on those carries, so that's pretty good. Sometime you got to go back. 2nd down and 9 now. Cincinnati trailing 6-0 here in the first. There's the same play that they ran to perfection a couple of minutes ago. I feel like Pittsburgh was more ready for it this time around. This is just going to be based on a spot. That was Haley Comer that ends up running her out.
Got a nice spot. They're going to have a 3rd and short again, 3rd and 3. And Church is, again, her specialty is linebacker. So that's the only thing you get a little worried of seeing her going both ways is, does that affect what she does on the defensive side of the ball as well?
Guess we'll find out. Now 3rd down and about 3. Midway through the first quarter, 6-0. Touchdown. Pittsburgh pretty much did what they wanted.
Yeah.
Offensively. Now kind of having the exact opposite. Number 2 defense in the National Conference, just behind Cincinnati. Handoff running right side. Nope, no blocking. And the defensive backfield just kind of creeped up from the side to make that play.
Mike, you can kind of see that Pittsburgh doesn't respect the passing game a lot of the Cougars because they've got literally 9 people within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Well, Angela Mason, 15 of 56 on the year, might be a reason why.
Yeah, like I said, they've struggled throwing the ball for lots of reasons. They've had some drops, they've had some miscommunications, but you can tell right now Pittsburgh's going to say, hey, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us throwing the ball.
Church came back in here on a 4th down and just a bit longer than 5. So Mason might have to throw here. The captain, who's just a week shy of her 46th birthday, will work with a 4x1 set. I don't think Pittsburgh was ready initially for it, and they had to suffer through a delay of game. Nope, I think Cincinnati got the timeout right before it. So putting the coach's hat on, because I'm always sure that dad's got to be smarter than his son, right?
Absolutely.
What are you thinking here? Because Pittsburgh, it's kind of an oddity because Cincinnati goes to a different formation than maybe what they have been with that eye and how they've been running. I would have thought maybe Pittsburgh would have taken the timeout seeing that, but what did Cincinnati not like there?
I think that they actually lined up. They went man to man. I don't think they expected them to go in a man-to-man. I think they were expecting a zone and be able to get something underneath. I think when you saw them come out and line up in a cover 0 or man-to-man coverage, that may not have been great for the play they had called. So I would expect them. They may have the same formation, but my guess is they'll either put in motion one of those 4 to the other to make it a 3x1 and then kind of do something there. Or they'll change the formation completely and go to play B because I don't think they anticipated Pittsburgh going into a cover 0.
See, I just look at it from a matchup perspective and say, where's Janine Church? Let's try to isolate her and just throw her the ball. She's tall and she can leap. But I don't need all the fancy analytics.
It's players, not plays. You're right.
So 2x2 out of the shotgun on 4th down and about 5.5. Mason wanted to throw that quick inside screen, but just a little bit too high and too far. And a turnover on downs on what, at times, was a nice first possession for Cincinnati.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of been a pattern the last few weeks. So you talk about their game against Music City, and they did a lot of that. Between the 20s, they moved the ball pretty much at will. But inside the 20, they struggled to get the ball into the end zone. They didn't get quite inside the 20 this time, but they were right there knocking on the door.
So 1st down and 10 for Pittsburgh now. Their second possession leading 6-0. Lisa Hort and Teresa Kahn, the co-head coaches, have won pretty much anything you can think of, whether it's team awards or championships, coaches awards. They've got a good game plan here early on. I'm curious to see what Chavez does here with that kind of modified pistol. Well, if it's working, turn and hand off to Napo out to the outside and speed out to the 33. Another good 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, they're hitting that crease between the defensive end and the outside backer. The Cougars are going to have to adjust that. They're going to either have to go to a 4-front or they're going to have to press that linebacker up to the outside because they're just getting 3 or 4 yards before they even see a defender.
I'll be surprised if they don't go back to that kind of option look there. That's exactly the play I was thinking of. It worked the first couple of times. Now the quarterback, Chavez, got the 1st down, but she didn't have the exact distance that she was looking for first. Does get out to the almost the 40-yard line, but if you have 2 plays and they're working, why go away from it?
I agree until they stop it. Again, what I'm impressed by Pittsburgh is the blocking of their wide receivers. They are doing a phenomenal job on the cornerbacks of Cincinnati by just locking them up and making them almost a non-factor.
An injury now here in the first quarter. So 6:07 to go.
I think this is a huge drive for Cincinnati, though. As you mentioned earlier, Pittsburgh had their way on that first drive. They've got to find a way to not let them get to the end zone here. If they do, you could see that runaway train start to happen because they really need to get themselves some confidence, if nothing else, that they can stop this Pittsburgh offense.
Pittsburgh, founded in 2002, overall record 144 wins, 48 losses. National championships, so 7, 14, 15. Just blew out Tampa on the road to open up the year, 56-14. May 2nd feels like a long time ago, 3 weeks ago, but you have that bye week mixed in there. You kind of wonder how you come out. Well, Pittsburgh's come out swinging.
They sure have.
There you go. Put Napo in motion now again. Kind of a backhanded toss on that screen. She's got just and she hit a clothesline.
That would be church.
There was a road bump.
I think she's aptly named because I think you see God if you get hit like that. So that was quite the hit by Miss Church on that one.
Yeah, that's definitely where you have to go to now and say, why did that happen? But Pittsburgh, not faced. They go right back to it. Pitch play, Napo running to the outside, got a
nice cut.
Couple of blocks and just kind of wandered back across the 50. So another big shove up front, and actually, it's the first time now that I believe that was actually Sarah Paladin who got her first run.
They're just wearing out that crease there right out the defensive ends, and it was a really nice cutback there to get those extra 4 or 5 yards on that play.
So third first down for Pittsburgh. Look to throw that screen this time around. Cincinnati had it played perfectly.
Yeah, the timing on that was not great. She had to double clutch that, then she threw it, and a great open field tackle. I think that was by Lauren Carter for the Cincinnati Cougars.
Skylar Shepard in now. The crazy thing is I looked down for a split second to write something down, and that entire play happened. That's the breakneck pace that Pittsburgh's playing at right now.
And I think you're starting to see it tire out the Cougars just a little bit. They seem to be a little bit winded right now defensively.
So bathed in sunshine, again out of that pistol. Chavez brings it straight up, puts it right into the fake on the belly, and they throw for the first time wide open across the middle for a first down. Forget about when we lost 3. We just picked up a lot more yardage.
Really, really well executed play. A bootleg to the left, which is a tough throw for the quarterback, but she did a great job of squaring her shoulders and actually throwing it back across the field a little bit.
That's, again, just I look at that and marvel at her arm strength. 18 of 28, 262, and 3 touchdowns on the year. Runs and hands off left side, just a lot of room for Napo to move, and she'll just continue to matriculate down the field across 25, down around the 23. She had an interesting offseason. She's the first-team National Conference All-American running back last year. Oh, and she got married in the offseason. I kept looking at her name thinking, where is the stat from this? No?
That'll do it. Well, what you're seeing now, and it's really more in the perimeter than up front, but the blue jerseys are getting pushed back. They're getting pushed back, and there's a crease almost every time for the gold and black of Pittsburgh that they're able to get into the secondary before they're seeing any kind of defensive pressure.
Paige Bragg in the slot off to the right side, but if you don't have to throw the ball, don't. Well, that one might have worked out. Might have needed Napo. In her 8th year, probably hasn't been stuck like that back there in a while.
I mean, again, that was just textbook. Now, that was a blitz. They called a blitz, and they came in and did a great job of executing that and finishing that play off. Key play. But now the key for the Cincinnati, they had some really nice defensive plays, but they don't put them back to back.
Janine Church, pretty much doing what she does for a living. Firefighter, putting out at least a little bit of the smoke for Pittsburgh. As they look to throw.
Pressure.
Out of the right side, and this drive has just continually gone the wrong way. That's a sack and another loss.
That was great coverage downfield by the Cougars. They have some height out there, at least. And I thought, they're going to throw it and be a jump ball. But they had good coverage right on that. Would have been a jump ball because every receiver was covered downfield.
It's usually hard to throw a jump ball when you're already laying on your back.
Good point.
At least statistically.
There's that reverse.
Set of reverses. I don't know. This one took a long way to try to string out, but a block downfield.
That's going to come back. There's a flag on that. There's going to be a block in the back where they're going to call it holding. But that on the corner right there, so that's going to come back another 15 or another 10 yards.
Would have been Paige Bragg's second carry of the year. Like you said, that one's going to get wiped out. I thought it was pretty obvious. We have a view of it. You could see it just kind of happen where if you just Just kind of walk up to the person in front of you, their back is turned, shove them down.
They're going to decline the penalty. Very interesting call. They're going to make it 4th and 11.
So she actually would have gained about 7 yards.
They're going to say 4th and 10, actually. So interesting that they're declining that penalty. Down here in the field, that's a lot of yardage to give up. I think I would have accepted that penalty and put them in 3rd and 20 instead of 4th and 10.
Well, I feel like you're not going to have to go long to fight with the guy who made the decision.
I'm sure he'll have absolute reasons why.
Dad, why? What do you mean? So Chavez can throw. We've seen that, but working out of the I formation, that kind of pitch play that Pittsburgh has been using with Cody Johnson as a fullback, it's not going to work this time. Johnson will be back there to block. Backhanded route on the throw, short,
but
and a penalty flag.
They're going to have a legal receiver downfield.
I'd be surprised that she completed that, but Paige Bragg, heck of an athlete.
I think this one's coming back. They're going to have this illegal.
And I thought she caught that just short of the stick,
I did,
to be
too.
honest with you.
I was right with you. I thought she was going to be just short instead of just past.
It was kind of one of those things where when she caught the ball coming across, the way she slid, to me, the ball looked like it was in her right hand.
Oh, they're going to call a hold on Pittsburgh. I thought they were going to call the left tackle had kind of snuck downfield a few yards on that fake. I thought they were going to call a legal man downfield. So that's going to give them, like I said, that's going to give them 4th and 20.
Best part about it is everybody with a stick had to be told, hey, don't go anywhere. It's got just about a minute to go before the end of this first quarter. What's your 4th and 20 play?
Well, they might do that same one they just had. Just tell her to go deep instead of cut it across the middle, because it looks like Pittsburgh quarterback has the arm to do it.
Just going to try to find anybody tall.
This is an absolute must have to stop if you're a Cincinnati Cougar. There's no way you can allow them what this could do mentally to you. They may punt this.
I think they're going to punt. I think you're right. Just kind of at the last second, working from the 40. See, bootleg right? Nope, we're going to find out how far we can throw. The ball is deep, and it is nearly picked off.
Smart play to drop that, even if that's not what you tried, because otherwise you get the ball inside your own 10, but now you have it 1st and 10 at their own 33. Good second part of the drive there for the Cougars, and able to stop it.
That's an 11-play drive that comes to an end.
I'm impressed by the arm of the quarterback from Pittsburgh. She has been consistently putting the ball on the receivers, because even that ball, even though it was a little overthrown, had plenty of oomph on it. So Ms. Chavez really has proven herself as very capable of throwing the ball.
So Cincinnati catches a break down 6-0 here on what is their second drive. First one ended on a turnover on downs after they were able to run. They go pitch play left, nothing was there. Up the middle, and there was a hit stick again. That play, I thought maybe if that kept going, it was going to be a race to the corner, but
I would agree with you. I think Kylie Taylor decided to cut up. Had she used her wheels to get the outside, I think, to your point, I think it would have been a race to see who got there. And she turned the corner. There was a lot of places to run.
The problem for her is the defensive line. Is Tiana Cash. Same high school, by the way, Woodland Hills in Pennsylvania. Rob Gronkowski. Just go around telling people, Gronk went to my high school. She hit like a Gronk spike. Now on 2nd down and 9, likely the last play of the first quarter, unless it's incomplete. Ball is thrown and it is incomplete. Right idea, though, kind of pinned to the sideline, keep it away from that double with the defenders.
Yeah, the play execution, it really wasn't a bad pass either. I mean, she put it someplace that was either her player was going to catch it or no one was going to catch it. 6 seconds left to go in this first quarter. You got to be smart, though. You can't have a turnover here. Even though a 3 and out is not going to be what you want, but you really don't want to turn the ball over down here.
Rachel Patula, the intended receiver on that last play, but Cincinnati, now with their last play potentially working from our left or right. Angel steps back, fires one across the middle, and it's broken up. That ball maybe just a shade behind, brings up 4th down.
I've never seen as many plays get off in an 8-second time in my life. So they're gonna go to the second quarter here, but it's going to be require a punt from the Cougars to make that happen.
So Lauren Carter, 3 punts this year, 110 yards. If you don't have an abacus, it's about 36 yards a punt. She does have a 40-yarder, though. She's got a boomer. Last play, just kind of a punch kick, and it's going to be fielded by Pittsburgh with nowhere to go initially. Great coverage, but a missed tackle will allow the Passion to get back across midfield to open quarter 2.
There might be a legal procedure on the Cougars. There's a flag down. They had a person on the field. I'm not sure they had enough people on the line of scrimmage.
My guess would be no, because Bear Rivers ran on at the last second.
I'm guessing they're going to decline this if you're Pittsburgh, though, because that was a nice return. I think that they'll take the ball. I'd be shocked if they don't decline this penalty.
I just always love watching the different ideals. Everybody's pointing one way, and everybody on the other side's pointing the other way. No, that's not possibly us. What do you mean? You go through, though, right now, with what Pittsburgh has been able to do on that opening drive and then a little bit into their second drive, you're Cincinnati, you're only down 6-0 to start second. You're feeling okay, though, right?
Yeah, I think you'd feel better if you were able to get a little more than a 3-and-out on that drive. They got a personal foul. Targeting. What?
Targeting on the punting team.
But they declined it. I don't know if I've ever seen a targeting declined.
Now you have. What's that they say? Hang around long enough, you'll see everything.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Maybe they felt like it wasn't targeting, and as we know, and there's no replay at this level, so targeting would have been a pretty substantial penalty for anyone on the Cougars who was called with it.
I'd like to decline this one dark cloud that's hanging over the top of the stadium.
It just doesn't seem to want to go away, does it?
No.
It's snuck out a couple times, and its sun's come out. It was really nice, but
we either send it back across the bridge to Kentucky or we just send it to Pittsburgh.
There you go.
Also, they keep running these ads for Dick's Potato Chips. I'm going to go down and ask for a bag. I feel like I should have put that in the writer. Hopefully, you're enjoying this matchup. Each team's got a handful left. You look at Pittsburgh's schedule. Next Saturday, they host Tampa Bay, and they host the DC Divas on June the 6th. And Cincinnati comes a-calling on the 13th. Cincinnati's got the reverse. They have just a couple of games to go because they're ahead in terms of games played right now. They have 3, Pittsburgh has 2, where the DC Divas come here to visit next year. But Cincinnati really, you look at historically, and with their 4th year, what they've been able to do, the way they've been able to climb the ranks. First year, they go 3-3. Nobody thought they were going to win any games. But they've built a really nice program here and hanging in with a perennial power.
Yeah, moving to the pro division this year, this is a step up for them. So they're seeing different levels of competition, and they're seeing if they can be more consistent with it. Last year, when they played with those upper levels, they struggled against Pittsburgh. They did really well in Division II, and losing in the conference finals 29-28 to Baltimore in a game that could have gone either way.
I don't think anybody's happy about anything Baltimore. So back into the shotgun now. Chavez with a motion to her left. Will go pitch play. Apple on the run, trying to get to the outside. Cincinnati not able to get in front of her. She picks up about 14 yards down to the 31.
Cincinnati is struggling setting the edge. They have to turn that up. They can't let those guys get outside. And in this defense, that's going to be the outside linebacker's job to come up and set that edge and turn that back. And right now, that's not happening.
6th first down for Pittsburgh already. Offensive line, Emily Tunney, Courtney Sargent, Kylie Roebuck, Fanica Payne, and Tyra Grant doing the work right now. As a just quick hitch inside to Bethany Meyer, and she's going to go in at 31 yards to the house for a score. 4th passing touchdown of the year for Chavez. And Bethany Meyer, that's her second.
Yeah, and what that is an absolute is they've been running that pitch play, getting out there. So the linebacker, instead of covering that slant like there, she fought off and was trying to come up and feed support on the run, and thus that slant was wide open.
So now Pittsburgh trying to decide what their 2-point play is. Same offense on the field. And the fullback and Cody Johnson does a really nice job to block. That's exactly where she'll be with Napo behind her. Chavez under center. Bootlegs out to her right. She could probably run if she wanted, but throws back in the end zone. And Paige Bragg right on target for 2, and it's 14-0 Pittsburgh.
They love that bootleg, and they're very successful getting people open downfield when they do the bootleg.
So Pittsburgh, that they've run a ton of plays in this game. They ran 8 on the first drive. They were able to move 55 yards with a 20-yard touchdown run. They had 11 on their second drive, ended with a turnover on downs, but they used just 2 to go 55 yards this time around and a 31-yard score.
Yeah, right now, as we talked earlier, the Cincinnati defense looks tired, and it also looks like mentally they're a little down. They're that same pep they had, slapping each other in the back. They're nice plays. Right now, they're kind of hanging on. They need to have something positive happen, and nothing better than a special teams play to change the momentum.
Yeah, Pittsburgh not a squad you want to be 14 down at any point. See how the return game.
I'm surprised they're as deep as they are, because the last time she was not able to kick it, she kicked it to about the 30. But Cincinnati has their deep men back at the 10-yard line, which is a pretty good kick from the 35.
So everybody hands up and away we go. Carter with her, wrong side. There's the bouncer in Lizzie Martz with the return, though. Cincinnati, I already said, talk about right about the 30.
Yeah.
They'll go to the 31 where the touchdown just happened from.
Yeah, I think they need to adjust how deep they have their return men, because that ball hit about the 27-yard line and it kicked back. It looked like a Phil Mickelson shot into the green where it backed right up there. But as a result, there was no chance for a return for the Cougars. They just were able to fall on it and get their offense started right here, right past the 30.
My chips generally hit the green and then bounce about 30 yards past it. So
my chips don't hit the green, so you're ahead of me.
Well, I was maybe being facetious that I was trying to make myself feel better. But 1st and 10, right to left as we sit, and it gets a little bit darker. Good thing those blinking lights are up there to save us. Cincinnati changing up a little bit of what they want to do, and the late handoff, that is not going to work. The Statue of Liberty handoff met immediately by Caitlin Niedermeyer, first team National Conference All-American last year.
Just a complete missed assignment by the offensive line on that. There's someone who's on that play, is supposed to fill there and just completely whiffed, and as a result, you saw that.
Last 5 offensive plays. Loss of 3, 2 incomplete passes, a run for a yard, and an incomplete pass for Cincinnati.
Yeah, right now their offense is struggling. They got to get some positive things. Even if they aren't able to sustain this drive, they've got to have some positive on this drive.
So go right back to that eye with the 2 on the right side, trying to get the running game going. And Pittsburgh, they're so quick with how they shift. We talked about earlier on, Kylie Taylor had 5 runs right out of the gate before she had to sit for a couple of plays, probably for exhaustion. She picks up 2 here, but do you try to create something different? I mean, Pittsburgh's had a lot of success with their pitch play, or do you just kind of ride out and not be pushed out of your comfort zone?
Well, there's a point where you got to be who you are, but you're right. They've got to try to find something different. They had success on those that first series when they drove the ball down so well, but Pittsburgh's adjusted. Now you have to adjust to what Pittsburgh's doing, and maybe that's going to your fullback up the middle a little more than trying to get those things on the edge.
2 receivers left and right out of the shotgun here. Again, Angela Mason, 15 of 56 throwing the ball. Didn't fake the jet sweep, gave it, and Pittsburgh immediately snuffed it out. For a second, it seemed as if maybe there was going to be something up the seam, and then black and yellow all over the place.
Well, right there's a microcosm, the difference between offenses right now. The wide receivers and the slot back could not sustain a block, did not make a block. Whereas when Pittsburgh runs plays like that, they're able to push them downfield. As a result, to your point, it looked like an opening, but they just shed the blocker and were right there to make the tackle.
At the end of that, there was nothing for Shea Franklin, and her first year now as a member of this crew. Played last year with the Chaos in Columbus. So punt needs a huge bounce for Cincinnati, and they got it. Out across the 40, down, keep on rolling. Down to the 33. It's not a bad punt.
No, not a bad punt at all. It's got that. Not only that, it's got what you want from a punt like that, where that ball's got that spiral. Now, what you really like for it to do is turn over. But either way, that was an outstanding punt, and it really the Cougars needed it to be an outstanding punt.
So Pittsburgh, their second worst field position, started at the 25 otherwise, but getting it at the 33. You've got about 12 minutes to work with here in the first half, leading 14-0.
And you know, if you're Pittsburgh, you're feeling pretty confident because just they've been able to do pretty much what they want. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them go to that outside crease again, but then don't be surprised if they don't start throwing the ball more often.
I think they're going to use that RPO here in a second. It's been successful. Or just give it to Ellison Napo and let her eat all the way out to the 40-yard line. She actually got the 41, so it's an even bigger gain. Again, second, third downs all being completely manageable and all being in Pittsburgh's favor.
Yeah. Again, setting the edge. The Cougars have to find a way to set the edge and stop those continual sweeps to the outside, picking yardage like that. You need to make them turn back to the teeth of your defense.
Ellison, the number 5 rusher in the WFA, averaging 11 every time she touches the ball. It's more than a first down. There's the RPO. Good blocking to the outside. You got to beat one defender and trying to turn. Chavez made kind of a late decision and a great defensive set by Cincinnati that they were not going to let them get beat to the pylon or get beat to the outside. Lauren Carter with another big play.
Lauren Carter, that's textbook. She defeated her with her inside arm, swept through, and able to do it. They were able to pick the first down, but it was a great, to your point, a great play by Lauren Carter, getting rid of the blocker and then making the tackle.
That could have been much worse.
I thought it was going to be much worse.
I thought if she was able to get another step, Chavez takes the high snap pitch out. Napo trying to get around, got past the defender. And a first down upcoming, and again, Pittsburgh in motion. The passion out across midfield to the 48. I'll give her the 47. That's an even bigger play.
Very frustrating there if you're the Cougar fan. They read that perfectly. They have in perfect position, and they just missed an open tackle. We're in Cincinnati. That must be a tradition for Cincinnati football teams because that looked like a Cincinnati Bengals play right there.
As a Dallas fan, I can't really say anything here. We talked about this earlier. I share your misery. It's just a different color jersey. So now on 1st and 10, looking to throw. Quick little screen off the left side. And either that took a second longer to develop than maybe it should have, or Cincinnati just kind of felt maybe that was coming because a short gain of 2.
Skaggs, the corner out there, did a nice job of getting off the block. They released the the tight end at her. She was able to shed that block and make a nice tackle. But you're right. I think it was just a tad slower in execution than they wanted.
So it was one of 2 tight ends. That was Angie Cardillo. It's now another bootleg, and Cincinnati trying to pick up the blitz. They weren't able to get to it. Paige Bragg, 5'8", used every part of it, now just fighting her way down to the 33-yard line.
She snatched that ball out of the air. That's an impressive catch right there. That's one of the things that Cougars have struggled with is being able to execute that type of play. Really nice job by Pittsburgh running the play, sitting down in the zone when it was open, and then it's snatching the ball out of the air.
She ran into 4 defenders and just sort of turned tail and went the other way. Napo with another handoff, caught the block to the outside, turns it back up the seam and got another first down. Down to the 21-yard line, she gains 11. That's the 9th first down for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think there's some real frustration on the. They're gonna probably take a time out here and talk about this because they cannot stop that play. They're continually getting beat to the outside on those sweeps. Quite honestly, if Pittsburgh wanted to, they could run it every time. I don't think they've had when they've run it since the first drive. I don't think they've had any time when they've had less than 5 yards gain.
Yeah. And most of them are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 yards.
Yeah.
Also countering in the fact that Paige Bragg came in 7 catches, 106 yards. She's already got 2 and a touchdown. Says she plays guitar. I would imagine that whatever that song is, it's got to be a happy song right now.
Yeah, I would think you're right. It's going to be it. And again, I'm assuming they're spending the night, but when they're driving back to Pittsburgh, that music will sound very sweet. Again, we're early on in the game. There's a lot of things can change, but we're just kind of, as we're seeing what's happening right now, there has to be a big change, both offensively and defensively, for the Cougars if they're going to get back and stay in this game.
How much can you look ahead right now? Because you got to figure that there's probably 3 possessions left in this half. Whether you include this one or depending on if it takes another 2 minutes, if you're Cincinnati, you're getting the ball back at least once. Maybe Pittsburgh gets it back of, okay, we could kind of strategize to put ourselves in a certain spot.
I think right now you're thinking, no matter what, we got to stop them from scoring here. If we don't stop them from scoring here, it's just a matter of the size of difference of the score will be.
Got to stop Napo. She's quickly coming up on 75 yards in a face mask. I feel like it was pretty obvious, and it was kind of one of those ones. You're in a bad spot if you're Cincinnati because you're kind of falling forward, and the linebacker kind of reached up to steady herself more than anything and came down with some hands on the masks.
Yeah, that was Pasha Rivers, also known as Bear. Really made a nice play other than, to your point, I think she lost her balance or was tripped up a little bit, and when she grabbed face mask. That's really going to put the pressure on the Cougars. They're going to have the ball right at the 10 or just barely inside the 10-yard line.
Actually, I think it ended up being Baja Carter who they ended up getting for it.
Oh, really?
I only know because the stream is just behind enough that I can almost watch this as a replay. You have to figure it out live. I can cheat. It's another pitch play for Pittsburgh. They run it to perfection and walking in to make it 20-0 from 10 yards out is Allison Napo. That is another touchdown for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's a major thing that if nothing else comes out of this game, if you're the Cougars, you've got to find out how to figure out to set an edge on your defense to prevent that kind of thing right there from happening time and time again.
So Pittsburgh now leading 20-0 at 8:41 in the first half. And I'd have to do some math, but I'm pretty sure that Napo is about 80 yards or so because she had 50 just early on. Pittsburgh has imposed their will. So send out the kicker. Cody Johnson missed her first extra point earlier. I won't say nice things this time.
And it went through.
And she'll make it work. So 21-0 at Pittsburgh here in the first half, and the number 1 team in all of the land. It's getting rolling pretty well. And I love Allison Napo. I read a lot of things about her. Slippery Rock University, where Pittsburgh plays. It's nice to be able to play, where you went to college. But all the way from Hainan, China, calls Aspinwall, Pennsylvania home. It's a lot of traveling, and she's pretty much traveled all over the field of this game.
Yeah, she's done a lot of traveling today so far. Yeah, Pittsburgh ranked number 1, and they look like it. They are, again, you can't compare games to games, but, St. Louis has been a 2-time champion. And the way that game, the way this game is night and day difference. The Cougars, although they lost that game, there was never a point in that. In fact, up to the very end, you thought they make one big play and they could get right back in it. But this game right here, you're starting to feel like if something big doesn't happen, this could get really ugly.
And I think I was talking about the amount of drives. If you're Cincinnati, you can put together a drive here. You look on the other side of the halftime break, you get the football because Pittsburgh won the toss and took the ball. They go down and score, but kind of go 2 for 1 here. Get some things, get them to go your way, and then figure out what the problem is and replicate that in the third. I think that's illegal.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if the ref didn't blow the whistle. We didn't, because yeah, it is. You can do that. You can go back and then change, but I'm just surprised.
Mine was generally how everybody put their hands up that I thought it was illegal because it was, oh no, they're not getting me. They're getting the person next to me. That's the only reason I questioned it. So the official is probably just thinking about that light tower up there
That's
behind
probably
him.
what it is. It's got him a little mesmerized.
It's just 2 lights blinking every other. It's another short kick. It's going to take a bounce the opposite way. Oh, Cincinnati had a kind of an awkward play there. It was eventually the tackle for Pittsburgh made by Denasia Harris.
Yeah, Kylie Taylor, and that was just, I think they need to move him up because if she catches out on the run, there's some room, but what happens, again, that ball kicks and bounces back towards Pittsburgh, and it just kind of throws up the whole blocking and the timing of the return. But you're right. Right now, the Cougars have got to think score, and then score with as little as much time left on the clock as possible, and then score again in the beginning of the second half.
There's a lot of happy people in Pennsylvania right now. At least according to the chat that I'm watching, they're thrilled. And I think that's the cool thing. Not only about the way that this league is structured with the different tiers, but the fact that you have teams everywhere. You get people watching and cheering on from everywhere. This is the league game of the week, and it's just so neat to see the game continually grow that way.
It's impressive how I didn't even know much about it just a couple years ago. Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
It's a pretty easy call for a false start. I'd imagine that's a locker room conversation. Hey, we have to do every little thing better.
Yeah. Yeah, you're at this point, you're like you said, it's not defensively, there's a couple things you need to focus on, but offensively, you're right. You just got to get a little bit better everywhere. They started off with that great drive. You need to try to figure out how can we do that again? What did Pittsburgh do to stop that? So how can we counter that?
I've been asked multiple times about these blinking lights to show them. Next time we get a chance, you'll see it when it gets dark, but we'll see if we get a chance at some point to point that out. Because it's all I can see is now Mason in a massive trouble. And just, if she gets to 20, where this is spotted at, that's going to help Cincinnati because I thought for sure it was at least the 17 or 18.
And she ran a naked bootleg and was not, Pittsburgh smelt that, was right there waiting for it.
So now disaster after the full start. You got to pick up 23 yards if you're Cincinnati. So a little bit of a conversation because Mason's going to come out here.
Yeah.
If that's just dejection about being slammed to the turf.
Now maybe they're concerned with where her helmet hit the ground, or maybe they have a situation where they want the backup quarterback's a much better runner.
So Kelsey Gotterwas now with the quick throw. Oh, she shot put one. That just barely went forward.
Yeah, they were lucky because that could have gone either way. You're right.
But the incomplete pass, and as much as we were hoping that something was going to go right, Mason will go back in after a play, but everything has gone wrong, and now 3rd down and 23.
Yeah, the offense went from a very promising opening drive to now it's really struggling to even get any kind of positive motion going.
So Mason stands in the shotgun, threw for 770 yards last year, 163 and 3 touchdowns this year. Floats one out right side, caught at the 20. But again, Pittsburgh forcing just nothing there. Gain of 3 brings up 4th down at about 20. Kind of a right idea, though. I don't hate the idea because it's one-on-one coverage on that backside. Everybody else is sort of in a different spot. It's one of those where you have to be a step ahead.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, you're counting on your better athlete making breaking a tackle, getting open field, but that didn't happen. Pittsburgh played it well, and now you got a 4th and long, and now they're offsides.
How can you tell?
That helps a little.
It doesn't make it where you can go for it, I wouldn't think.
No, I don't think you can either.
It's the 2nd penalty against Pittsburgh. They had one earlier on, but
wow, that's a lot more than 5 yards.
There you go. There was a shot of the light tower. See, I didn't make that up. They do a great job of pointing things out. It just continues. This is the entire game, what you're seeing right there. I see this the entire time. Yeah, I thought that was a lot more than 5. So another punt for Cincinnati. Needed to get a roll. Got a little bit of a sideways jaunt to it.
Not as nice as the last couple, but she was getting pressure there, so I think she knew she had to get it off quickly.
You could never make all of the people happy. Wonder about the lights. Show the lights. They don't like the lights. Right now, though, it's the Passion who are shining bright, as they will start from their own 42 with 6.5 to go.
It doesn't seem to have affected their rhythm at all, that's for sure, those lights.
I think they're just ignoring it. Just got to call the right people at Mount St. Joe. Shout out to Casey, watching along because she enjoyed the light show.
I like it.
Pittsburgh's 36.5 points per game, the number 2 offense in the National Conference, showing what they can do, working out of a split gun set for the first time. And it's probably going to be a holding penalty. That play was slow to develop, and there were a lot of Cincinnati defenders that seem kind of not be able to chase Napo.
You know, the one defender who's done a really good job for the Cougars in that is Lauren Carter. She has really done a nice job setting the edge, getting rid of defenders, and then making tackles.
She nearly made that one. Came by with a host of her friends. So I said Pittsburgh rather, hadn't had any penalties. They've had 2 in about the last 30 seconds. They're going to not let me into Cranberry Township anymore.
I looked at buying a house in Cranberry Township years and years ago.
I only go there and to Greensburg, so I'm not going to be allowed in either of those places. So we're going with a much longer first down. Pittsburgh with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half, leading at 21-0. Chavez bootlegs to her right, found some traffic, and then wide open, right up through the middle. She got the holding penalty back and then won.
They run that same sprint out, and then they just take that tight end. She finds an open crease, and Chavez finds her and hit it. And so far, the Cougars have not been able to. That should be a nice play for the linebacker to step in front and pick. But so far, they've not been able to take advantage of that.
It's got to be about the hardest thing, too, because she's got the ability to take off and run. Of what's she going to do there? Completes that to Jana Meister, who she's a good one. There you go. Sprint out wide left again, looking. Deep throw, wide open across the top. Meister, who's a first-team National Conference All-American. National Offensive Player of the Year last year. Makes immediate dividends for a big first down.
Wow, it was another nice throw by Chavez, hitting the receiver in stride. So much for that first and long, because now they're back in their same groove they've been in.
They're running that fast break to perfection. So the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. 5 minutes to go. But just a terrific player. Jana, who that's just her 5th and 6th catch of the year. About 60 yards, but last year the young lady out of Chicago and Iowa Wesleyan showing what she could do for this team, and many moments to try to shine as another slowly developing run turns into a gainer of about 5. Sarah Paladin out of Pittsburgh and Schaller High School with the big run.
Yeah, well, the Cougars they're catching the blocks. Instead of attacking the blocks, they're catching the blocks. And even on a play like that where they played it decently, they got 5 yards because they're catching it instead of attacking it.
Cody Johnson just made a heck of a block there to Springer. I just watched it back again, put her hands out, just kind of ran into a defender and knocked her down.
They do a great job blocking on the perimeter, that's for sure.
4 minutes left in the first half, 21-0 Pittsburgh. And the shiftiness on display of Napo right up the middle and inside the red zone into the end zone. 35 yards, and it's 27-0 Pittsburgh. Look what I can do.
That was a very impressive run, but it also looked like a very tired Cougar defense. Who you got 2 or 3 players tapping their helmet saying they want to come out. And that's what happens when teams are just running it down your throat.
Also, I feel like Napo just decided, I'm not going down. You're going to need to bring an entire army, a den, if you will, of Cougars.
And that den was a little slow getting out of the den. The Cougars are a little slow getting out of that den for sure.
She's got 45 yards on just her last 2 carries for touchdowns. Snap is drilled up and good. 28-0 at Pittsburgh, 3:53 in the first half. Alyssa Napo just speed from here to there, there to here, everywhere. You just can't stop her.
It was to your point, she had determination in her hand. She was not going to be stopped. But you see when teams are tired on defense, instead of they start arm tackling, they start reaching with their hands, they don't follow through with their legs. And as a result, she took advantage of that and really did a nice run and took it all the way to the end zone.
Pittsburgh, 441 yards a game. They've played 2 games, now into their third. They've kind of flipped the script a little bit because as much as they use their running game, they average almost 286 yards a game on the ground. They throw for about 155, which is third best in the league, but they've shown kind of their ability to, they're about 3-1 in terms of runs to pass, but they've only had 2 plays. One's an incomplete pass, the other's a loss, that just haven't gone their way.
Yeah, I think at this point, they're sitting there saying, hey, I don't think they can stop us running the ball. Let's work on our passing game. Let's see what we can do. And until the Cougars do something that's, again, the kick return guys are just a little too deep. But until the Cougars do something to force them, they're going to continue to work on their passing game.
This one again will be put in that same hole. Coming up to return, though, Cincinnati at the 25. Looking for a hole. Spring right up through. And a great return. 20 yards out to the 45. Now you really have to have a great first play.
Yeah. Kylie Taylor did a nice job. And again, catching the ball on the run versus letting it hit the ground makes a big, big difference in that timing and the blocking.
So Cincinnati with their best field position to start a drive. Previously, it was the last drive where they started from on 33. They ended up having to punt. They've had to do that 3 times, and they have a turnover on down to show for their trips so far. Offense at 26 points a game. Cincinnati in their 4th year, D3 national champs in 24. 19-7 all-time record. Angela Mason out of the shotgun, looks left, comes back to her right, floats one just behind the stick in a short gain. But that's not the worst thing in the world. You can get 3-4 yards at a time. Just kind of keep killing the clock.
And if you get one missed tackle or one defensive mistake, you can get some big yards. And that was a nice throw by Mason right there. She did a really nice job putting a little zip on it out there in the flats. And like you said, not a bad thing to happen at all.
Autumn Parks on the catch, her 3rd of the year. Again, just enough of that rub where she came off the back end of that route, looked over. There's nobody there. Cincinnati going a little bit more of a bunch to the left side of the quarterback. Down 28-0. They get the ball to start the second half of the pitch. Those 3 yards that just went positive, they're going back the other way. And he talked about it earlier on, about having Haley Triplett in the backfield. 69 yards rushing this year. Just didn't really... Well, they only gave her a loss of 2.
Yeah, that's not her forte. She's going north and south. She can be a beast. Trying to get her on the edge, that's not exactly her strong suit. I got to believe that Kylie is either tired or they're trying to give her a little breather here to get some energy back.
Also maybe try to give Pittsburgh kind of a different look that they can't just zero in on. As Mason looks to throw high and across the middle. That's thrown just kind of into no man's land, and a incomplete pass brings up 4th down. But the injury, I wanted to point this out too about Haley Tippett. I love the story, and congratulations to her and her wife about scheduling the C-section for their baby during the bye week. That's commitment.
That is commitment. I think Sam.
That's when you know you found a good one.
That is big time commitment. You're right.
Bye weeks are not an easy thing. They're undefeated.
No good. The player down is showing up on, sitting up now, so that's a good sign.
I think that's exactly who it is.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure it's Haley.
But and I think the other reason that she's into that set is she's a much better pass protector, and she did a nice job on that play, by the way. I think that's how she got injured a little bit, but she did a nice job stepping in and buying Angela some time. Unfortunately, they were unable to complete that pass, but she did a nice job blocking and giving her some time.
I also want to mention there's a great crowd here tonight because they are sitting just down below us, and I can hear them, and they are loud.
They do have a nice crowd here. I think they're going to be very happy with the attendance. They drew last year very well in the games I was able to see. So that's to your point. What this has become, what this Women's Tackle Football League is becoming across the nation is really impressive.
And again, you look at the championship game. I mean, it was on ESPN. I marveled at that. Anytime you get to play a game in Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, that's pretty good. I think it's going to be a timeout, or I didn't see.
Oh, there's a 2-minute warning now. That's what it is. There's a 2-minute warning now. They're following NCAA rules. There's now a 2-minute warning at the end of the first half, and I think that's what they're calling.
If we call it NCAA rules, you're not allowed to say 2-minute warning. You got to say 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 2-minute timeout. You're right. I said it incorrect.
I've always heard every announcer go to say 2-minute warning, so we'll call it a timeout. What? Because we trademarked 2-minute warning, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah,
that's what, and I'm getting used to that rule. That's not been around all that long. And some of these officials don't know these. I don't recognize any of the ones here. The ones I think the line judge I know, but the other folks, they do a combination of high school and college games. So sometimes they have to remember which rules am I enforcing here.
Well, we're not going to go. There we go. I was wondering if they're going to reset it. I was just going to call it the minute 58 stoppage. Who said it didn't stop at 2 minutes? But this, if you're Pittsburgh, are you going for the throat here?
I think if it's Pittsburgh football, you're going for the throat. Now, that can be a dangerous thing. You can give some momentum to the Cougars if they're able to, make an interception or even a pick six type of thing. But I believe they'll go for a throat. I don't think they'll, in any way, shape, or form, look to slow it down.
They went for the block and a kick coming left, looking to just hit somebody. But finally, that big roll down the hill here in Cincinnati, all the way to the 19.
A lot of pressure on Lauren. She got a nice kickoff. Took advantage of that bounce. But yeah, let's see. I would be shocked if you see. Now they may just run it, but I gotta believe they're not going to be conservative by nature. And if they get anything going on this first play, then I would expect the whole playbook's open for them.
Well, the crazy thing is, if you go back and look at it, I'd be willing to bet you Pittsburgh's not run more than 4 or 5 different plays.
Oh, I would absolutely agree with you. They run the same. They've run a bootleg left, bootleg right as their passing play. They've run that seam run, the outside zone against the open front of the Cougars. So you're right. It's not like they've bedazzled them with a lot of different plays or formations. They're just executing them.
They're doing a great job with the Ask Madden feature. Just keep doing what he says. Pitch out play now on the left side. A lot of room until that tackle is made. Cincinnati did a great job to close that down on the sides and keep that from where Pittsburgh has done this a couple of times where they get to that sideline and then kind of turn up on it.
Yeah. But what you're seeing when they're successful in stopping, with the exception of Lauren Carter on her side, it's been inside backers pursuing from inside out and not the outside backers setting the edge. You got to have your outside backers set the edge.
Sarah Paladin was back there the last time around as there's that motion and the throw to the sideline just a bit high and outside. Intended for Angie Cardillo.
Now, if you're the Cougars, you're got to believe that Pittsburgh could run here to get the clock, but if they throw it, you can stop them. Now, you've got to go block that kick to have a chance to get a cheap score here. And back to your point, since you're getting the ball to start the second half, you can change things a little bit. So you got to be pretty aggressive here yourself.
Are you shocked a little bit to see Pittsburgh throw in that situation?
I was. just because I didn't think they were extremely successful in the first down. I thought they would run it. I think they'll run. Nope, they're going to pass again.
Looking to throw, waiting for that seam, hitting the back end of the sideline. Soft hands. Paige Bragg, like a center fielder, able to come up and make that play and gain about 15 yards. Now, again, a minute to go. Pittsburgh, you're up 4 scores. Is this where you open the playbook?
I honestly thought that pass was overthrown. She did a phenomenal job catching that on the way down, one-handed, pulled it in. What a great catch. Nice throw as well. Oh, yeah, I think Pittsburgh, obviously they're telling us they want to score.
They're looking for 35-0 before the break. Chavez, the National Conference MVP a couple of years ago.
Same play other side.
Straight drop looking, fires the sideline, and that might have been intended for you. It's a little too high. She might have been going the other way.
That's a difficult pass for anyone to make right there. You're going from the right hash all the way across outside the numbers. That takes a significant arm strength to put that on, and she's done it several times here. That one, like you said, was just a little bit overthrown.
But again, Marcelina's done a nice job coming into today, 18-28. She loves to write poetry, I'm told. It's kind of a juxtaposition, though. Her 2 big things are poetry and kayaking. I feel like they're on the other extreme, maybe because they're both tranquil.
She's very eclectic.
That's saying it nicely. Alzi step up again, put some arm into it. And unfortunately for her, it's through it in a sea of blue jerseys, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, the Cougars are in almost a prevent kind of look. They're only rushing 3, and that's very unusual. You're usually going to rush minimum of 4. A lot of times in this defense, you'll run 5 or 6. But right now the Cougars are dropping back and trying to, I think, hang on. To your point, they don't want a big play to get out here and have them get to the 35-point thing here in the first half.
That pass was intended for Angie Cardillo. I wrote this down 3 times, and I could not believe this. The thing about Cardillo, she's a supervisor of neurodiagnostics. I had to make sure I spelled it right so I could say it.
I don't. That's above.
Too smart for me. 53.8 left in the first half. It's now in motion goes Paladin. Pitch thrown on the back end of that. Just, again, working where there's nobody at. Bethany Meyer had that touchdown catch earlier, and she adds a second one out across midfield with the clock running at 40 seconds.
They actually had that defended decently, but no one made a tackle. They actually had her boxed in pretty well, but she, to your point, she was determined to go, and those arm tackles aren't going to get it done.
She just kind of ran right through the middle of 3 defenders. So the Pittsburgh coaches, by the way, are directly in the box to our right, and they were not happy they had to use a timeout. So we would have liked to have one of those. I don't know, the head official is dancing. I'd say every once in a while, things will break you.
There you do. Yeah. He is obviously trying to get into spirit, and he's not showing any allegiance to the Cougars because not many of the Cougar fans feel like dancing right now.
No, they're feeling like the Monster Mash. He was dancing to So Fresh and So Clean, in case you're listening along and you're wondering what it was. It took me a second to realize what he was doing. I just looked down. I've never seen an official dance during a game. There you see, by the way, the shot when it widens out. If you look at the top left side, you see those lights I was talking about earlier that we showed you. They're in perfect unison, though. Just those 2 lights that are off balance. So Cincinnati coming out trying to figure out how to get one stop and not let this go 35-0 into the half. There's that reverse again. And coming back on that left side, Bethany Meyer trying to catch a block. Did not. And it was played perfectly.
That's the bear.
Now the light cam. All right. I feel bad for whoever's in charge of that now, that they're just standing down there. Why does he keep calling for that? It's a heck of a play by Bear.
Yes, it was. And her closing speed was maybe the most impressive part about it. I thought, oh, she might have got run, but no, she just did not let that happen.
She ran a right past Kylie Roebuck, the All-American. Said, you're not catching me. 8 seconds to go, and the kneel down.
And they didn't stop the clock, though. Still not stopped. Did they? Oh, they took a knee. I
Yeah,
thought they spiked it.
I had to think about it because I was confused when you think about how that entire sequence goes. For Cincinnati to be able to get a stop there, albeit an assisted stop, massive because Bear made that big play right before that, and then you go in, you're down 4 scores, but you've got time to think about what you're going to do when you come back in the third with the ball.
I thought they took the spike. I'm trying to figure out what.
Here you go. Good work. Look at this progress. You're doing great.
You'll be back to yourself in no time.
Hi, I'm F. Doc Harris, and I'm here to talk to you about women's professional football. I've played a lot of video games, and I've watched a lot of football on TV. I can tell you right now, I know what real football looks like.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Thank you.
Good luck this season.
Welcome to the Road to Canton Halftime Show. I'm Brian Sweeney, the voice of the Women's Football Alliance Pro Division National Championship game. It's week 5, and the 2026 season is half over. Alex is back in studio to let us know what is the biggest surprise so far this year.
The biggest surprise for me is 2 teams. 1, Pittsburgh, 2, Minnesota. We knew they would be good, but I don't think anybody expected them to be this good in this part of the regular season. The offenses have been dominant. The defenses have been stellar. The offensive lines have won the battle in the trenches very, very easily. Both of those, to me, is the biggest surprise. I also think on a negative side, St. Louis hasn't really lived up to the potential that I expected out of them. A lot of season to go, but still something I want to see more of is the St. Louis Slam return back to their form.
7 Pro Division teams played across 5 games last weekend. The Salt Lake City Wildcats have now won 12 in a row across the last 2 seasons as they took care of business over the Rocky Mountain Thundercats of Division II by a score of 53-6. Next week, May 30th, the Wildcats will take on the 2-0 Cali War for the first of 2 meetings this season. The Wildcats continue to show us this year that they belong in the Pro Division. The 6 points put up by the Thundercats last weekend are the only points that the Salt Lake City Wildcats have allowed so far since joining the Pro Division.
Well, and it's impressive to see how good that jump has gone. We knew this was a deep team. We knew this was a team that is young yet experienced, and it's a rare combination to have. But for them to continue to do this in the early part of their schedule, it's impressive. Now, regardless of what happens today against Mile High, you have 2 games against Cali. You're probably getting another one against Minnesota at some point as well. Those are going to be the tests for them. But right now, the Wildcats are proving not only do they belong, but they're a team to look for heading back to Canton, Ohio in a Pro Division championship game.
The Cincinnati Cougars picked up their 2nd win of the season in a game that was shortened due to bad weather in the area over the Music City Misfits of Division II. At the end of the first quarter, the Cougars were up 14-0 after Lauren Carter's pick six. The Storms rolled in at the half and the game was called. The Cougars will play their third and final home game of the season next weekend, May 30th, when they welcome the 2-1 DC Divas. Alex, no one likes to see a game end early, but ultimately the fan and player safety is what comes first.
Well, it's still a good win for Cincinnati and the Queen City, where the Music City Misfits are a good team at Division II if they can put it together and continue to challenge at the Division II level. But Cincinnati continues to sneakily get the wins. They're not winning by a big margin. They're not winning by a massive margin, but they are getting those wins. And I think for voluntarily moving from Division II to Pro, they're showing that once again they belong. And the results maybe aren't necessarily all wins or dominant wins, but they are still winning football games. And they prove that they belong at the pro level, and I'm curious to see how they do coming up here.
The Minnesota Vixen continue to have the most dangerous offense in the Pro Division, as their total points scored this season has now reached 200. Last weekend, it was the Dallas Elite Mustangs' turn to see firsthand what Aaron Kelly, Ray Jefferson, and Candace Bostic, along with the rest of the Vixen, can do, as Dallas took the 58-0 loss. Next weekend, May 30th, the 2-1 St. Louis Slam look to avenge their Week 1 loss as they travel to play the Vixen in St. Paul. 7 different Vixen players found the end zone last weekend against Dallas, and through 4 games, they are only allowing an average of a little over 8 points per game. Coach Connor Joe has this team ready to make a deep run in the playoffs.
And think about the points that they've allowed too. 2 of those touchdown scores have been pick sixes by the other team. So when you look at Minnesota, yeah, the schedule and the strength of it isn't necessarily where they want it to be. But I said on our broadcast on Saturday, I said that this was a do-your-job kind of game. And Minnesota, to their credit, has done their job. They've won football games they've had to. They've won by 40 points to appease the Massey ratings, and they're winning the games against their rivals in St. Louis. They have another test next week against the Slam that I think isn't going to be as easy as on paper it is intended to be. But Minnesota, you look at what the Vixen are doing, what's not to like? All 3 areas of the game are going well. The offensive and defensive lines are really shining strong here. It's tough not to like Minnesota moving on into the postseason.
In the first of 2 Pro versus Pro Division games last weekend, the St. Louis Slam took their game on the road to play the Houston Energy. For both teams, it was a chance to get above 500, as they both had a victory but also a loss to Minnesota in the American Conference Central region. At the end of the game, it was the Slam who picked up their second win of the season. Final score 21-6. Houston will welcome the 2-1 Dallas Elite Mustangs on May 30th, and St. Louis will travel for a rematch with their Week 1 opponent, the 4-0 Minnesota Vixen. This game was shown on the On Clutch network, and unfortunately, due to technical issues, much of the game could not be streamed. Luckily, St. Louis Slam legend Taylor Hay was there, and she streamed most of the game for the fans from the sideline.
Well, and she's a legend on and off the field now in her career and now after it here for us as well. The thing that you notice about St. Louis, and it's tough to pinpoint one specific thing, again, they're picking up wins, but they're not picking up wins in the dominating fashion that we're used to seeing from them. Here's a stat for you. We're recording this on Monday. Jamie Gall's stats, when I last looked, 25 of 50 in her passing completion percentage. Remember that game against Minnesota? She had, I think it was 9 of 25 in that game against the Vixen to start the year. So she's not really throwing at the level she's capable of. I think for St. Louis, the wins are coming. Yes, that's great. But you're going to have to face off against a Minnesota again. You're going to do that next week. You're also going to have to do that against Cali maybe, against Salt Lake maybe, and their competition's going to get higher. I'm nervous about St. Louis, but I still think they have a lot of potential to prove us wrong here again.
The final game last weekend was the DC Divas at the Tampa Bay Inferno. Tampa jumped out in front early in this game, but late in the fourth quarter, the game was knotted at 20. The Divas fought hard on their final possession and managed to get the 26-20 win. DC will take their game on the road next weekend, May 30th, to Cincinnati to battle the 2-1 Cougars. Tampa is also on the road next week when they face the 2-0 Pittsburgh Passion. These teams met in week 2, with the Passion coming away with the win. Alex, these two teams are going to meet again in the final week of the regular season, with playoff seeding definitely on the line.
Well, and it's a good credit to how good Tampa has developed. I talked about earlier on in the season when they were having good matchups with Pittsburgh. Didn't have it this time, but Tampa's hanging around teams. Don't overlook the Tampa Bay Inferno here. They're close, they're competitive, and they're pulling teams closer to them as time goes on. Love to see that Tampa finally finding their footing as they're going through here. For DC, it's another gutsy win by Amanda Congialdi. She continues to deliver in clutch time. Yeah, there was a walk-off field goal against Pittsburgh. That's going to happen. There's not anything you can do about that as a quarterback. But she continues to find ways to win. She's got an exciting receiving core around her, and the defense can get the stops in big time when they need to. It's a playoff-tested, road-tested team that is going to look good going into a National Conference postseason picture that's very, very full.
Alex, after the first 4 weeks, you and I are separated by only 2 points with our weekly picks. So let's dive right in to the Week 5 matchups. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh coming off of a bye against a Cincinnati team that played a shortened game against Music City. Give me Pittsburgh.
Mile High at Salt Lake.
It's a tough road test for Mile High. The altitude won't be a problem. They play at it anyway, but Salt Lake is going to win this running away.
And Cali at Nevada.
It's tough because Jesse Felker doesn't have time to throw the football. And with a good defensive line like the Cali War has, that's not going to change today. It's the war in a route.
Have a safe Memorial Day on Monday, and don't forget the reason for that day. Enjoy the second half of tonight's game, and we'll see you next week on the road to Canton.
Here you go.
Good work.
Look at this progress. You're doing great.
You'll be back to yourself in no time.
Supportive.
Grateful.
Inspiring.
Connected. Integrated.
Community. Communication.
Great.
Fun.
Meaningful.
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional. Care.
Opportunities. Excellent. Passionate.
Family. Family.
Awesome.
And as we can see, the future of technology is with us. You might be thinking, Doc, this is truly amazing. And we got.
Hey, is the projector ready? Come on, time for a team meeting.
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight, that's something. The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
Third quarter here from Cincinnati, and Cincinnati trying to turn it into their quarter as they trail 28-0. Looking at the first half, it was decidedly Pittsburgh. 3 touchdown runs and a touchdown pass. Quarterback in Chavez ran for one to open up the game. An extra point was missed, made it 6-0. 2 turnover on downs and a punt led to a 31-yard touchdown pass. Extra point was worth 2, and it was good too on a 2-point pass. Cincinnati had to punt again on their third possession, and then it was pretty much the Napo show. A 10-yard touchdown run and a 35-yard touchdown run, sandwiched in between a pair of punts, and really the only thing that did not go Pittsburgh's way is the fact they took a knee to end the half.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it was the Pittsburgh. The opening drive from the Cougars looked promising, but we haven't seen anything close to that since.
The best part about the third quarter getting started is there are still players running back onto the field. 10 minutes was not enough. Oh, look at that high bounce. This is going to be great field position for Cincinnati.
That's a nice run.
Right across the 50, and the first time now that the Cougars will start in Pittsburgh territory. Find someone tall and let them run.
She didn't hesitate. A lot of times she sees those front line folks be surprised. She's like, hey, this is my opportunity. I'm taking this and going. That was a pretty impressive return. Let's see what the Cougars can do with it.
See if they get something big going here. Again, Kevin Connor and Mike Hearn here tonight, and see how Cincinnati comes out of the locker room. If they got some of those hot dogs downstairs, or maybe they just kind of let it go till the end of the game. It's Rheingeist. I don't think they're hitting Rheingeist, though. So Angela Mason in the shotgun works, and Cincinnati going to try to turn the tempo up here as they fake the run and get the run right back up the middle, and that is a 12-yard gain. That's one of the biggest plays Cincinnati has had all day, and it's just their second first down.
That was what we saw, that type of activity in the first drive. That was a nice play. They ran motion across. Pittsburgh adjusted, and then they just ran right up the gut. So very nice job. You said it at the beginning of the game. For Cincinnati to win this game, they had to rely on their up front, their big people up front, and they might need to have to go and try to do that. Might be a little too late, but maybe they can get some positive stuff by doing that very thing.
I like Michaela Breland tried to outrun Kylie Taylor. They both ended up the same 12 yards. Unfortunately, it only counts for one of them. The handoff to the outside. Taylor made a nice move to come back in and just kind of work that. These aren't the worst things in the world. You pick up 3, but you're controlling the clock. You're controlling how at least the start of the second half goes.
Yeah, and you, again, another thing. Pittsburgh sets the edge, causing Kylie, like you said, making a great cut up. But on the opposite side, Cincinnati's not been able to set the edge like Pittsburgh just did on that play. So Kylie cutting up, she cuts back up into the teeth of the Pittsburgh defense. But again, the first 2 plays here looks a lot more positive than we saw most of the second quarter for sure.
Second home game of the year for Cincinnati. They've got one more, and this is a much better looking sky than what it was an hour ago and what it was the last game. So give that jet sweep this time around, and there's just not a lot to it. I watched Shea Franklin try to cut that corner out of Grove City, and I also watched the football they're throwing on the backside across, and I thought it was a penalty flag. So we can't have that already.
Yeah, that play was sniffed out very well. It's tough running that to the short side of the field. When you run those jet sweeps and you're going into the boundary like that, any type of string out, it makes it a very tough time to have anything positive happen for you.
It's now on third down. Angela Mason standing in the shotgun. Again, a couple weeks shy of turning 46. It's a nice way to do it during the season. Tries that inside slant and just... I don't know if it was for you, but part of that, to me, watching that, kind of with that ball having to come inside, it felt like it slowed down a little bit, and Shea just kind of got caught by the defender.
Yeah, it's almost like Shea on her route kind of hesitated, and as a result, ran right into the defender. If she had sprinted, it looked like that, that could have some success. But you're right, that it almost looked like there was a slowdown there. I agree. Big play here. They need to get something going if they're the Cougars.
Shea Franklin, the target of the last 2 plays. Now, Mason out of Austin P University brings a receiver in motion across that front Trying to change the look, steps up in the pocket, tries to run for the first down, puts
it.
it away, and falls back across the 25 to the 23. That's a terrific run. Just to look at that breakdown of 10 yards and say, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get that.
I think that was one of the more impressive runs I've seen her make. And as we talked about, she's just short of her 46th birthday. That was pretty impressive, that spurt she had right there to get that first down and keep the Cougars' drive moving.
Not a big runner. Coming into today, only 4 rushes for 31 yards, but if you have a back like Kylie Taylor, you don't really have to. That's the Tom Brady thing. Only run when you absolutely have to. Now the captain stands straight back, good protection, ball to the outside, but just short on the comeback and enough to get to the 20-yard line. Call it incomplete.
Yep, she didn't catch it. She dropped it.
Sometimes it's hard to see the angle across the field from the other side.
It is, especially on a play like that when she dove down, but that she did not pull it in.
Well, we thought there was one of those in the first half in the exact same spot. Turned out to be like a 10-yard gain. This just kind of didn't work. So now on second down, Cincinnati feels like down 28-0 that they're not looking at the scoreboard coming out on this drive. They've come out with a little bit more of a swagger than they had going to the locker room. Now they'll work on second down. Mason will hand off inside and just a handful of yards down to the 19-yard line for Kylie Taylor.
And that's the thing where, Kylie is really, if you get her on the edge, she's really tough to stop because of her speed. And she does a nice job up the middle there, but there's only so much of the pounding that she's going to be able to take. That's when the Cougars got to come up with another way to attack inside versus outside. Double back formation this time.
So led by their setter and Sarah Thornton. She said her pregame music is Fall Out Boy. I thought that was an interesting choice. So right now she needs to dance. On the right side, the handoff, not much doing for Haley Tippett. And it's, again, manageable. You know for sure Cincinnati's going for it here.
If you have a go 1-2 cadence, this might be the time to utilize it. See if you can't get that Pittsburgh to jump, because that would be nice to get a first down inside the 15, go forward, and again, it's kind of the. But this is a makeable play for them. To your point, not for the score necessarily overall, but for you as a team and your confidence to go on and continue this drive.
So working out of a split gun set now here on 4th down and 4. Taylor to the right. Out of that formation, and the handoff will come to her. Trying to throw a block as her fullback around the corner. She stopped, and I don't think she's going to get it. There was one extra step. She had to kind of stop through traffic, and Pittsburgh made a nice adjustment to slow that down and force the turnover on downs.
Yeah, Pittsburgh does a great job, again, setting the edge. I sound like a broken record here, by making them do those things. That's something that this Cougar defenses have to figure out themselves. But it's just another drive, very similar to the opening drive of the half, or opening drive of the game, but again, still no points to show for it.
Caitlin Niedermeyer making another big play. 17 tackles and a forced fumble coming into the year. So just pretty much everybody. So Pittsburgh taking over their first drive of the second half, 10:42 in the first. Just shy of their own 15-yard line. Not just, why not? Power on power. Just turn and hand up the middle. And if your back continues to pick up 5 yards at a time.
Yeah, especially if you're running right down the gut. Now the Cougars have a situation that they don't fit. Last time there was a completely uncovered receiver. Interesting. They've gone to a 2-safety look. I don't see them do this very often.
Got to do something. Figure out how to slow down that passing game in the middle, and Pittsburgh has opened up everything there. Now on second down, kept by the quarterback. Little hesitation from Chavez. I'm shocked she didn't run.
That should be a legal block downfield.
Dropped it down and picked up that first down. There's a late penalty flag.
Yeah, they were blocking downfield. I thought they were going to call it right away, but the receiver, the tight end, immediately started blocking the linebacker, and then they still threw the ball downfield.
Again, I thought Chavez was just going to take off because from here she had a lot of room because of the blocking.
Obviously, the tight end thought the same thing because that's what happened. The tight end peeled back on the linebacker, and then Chavez went ahead and threw the ball anyway. But as a result, you're going to have an illegal block downfield.
Should be an interesting conversation in the huddle. Did you not see what I was doing? So Pittsburgh will march back, just the third time they've been hit with a penalty. But they don't seem to be bothered by down and distance.
They do not. I was thinking the exact same thing. It hasn't changed their play calls or anything. They just attack. They do their thing.
Get an offense through their first 2 games, averaging 441 yards. I can't even do that on Madden. Chavez will bootleg out to her left, just short of a 2nd and 10. Fires through the handful of defenders out to the 32-yard line. That's a how did we get from here to there play? Because that was not bad coverage by Cincinnati. There was just a window that Chavez threw right through it.
She threw exactly. She sit back and she put some oomph on that one and got right through there. And like you said, the coverage was very good coverage. It's what you coach, but she was able to fill in that window, and somehow they moved the chains.
The fact that it had to be thrown over the top of a defender you saw with an outstretched hand. Now back to the run game. Pittsburgh trying to bounce outside. Napo again down the left sideline into Cincinnati territory. Still going on the cutback. Looking like the game that Cincinnati had last year in Pittsburgh. Throws a stiff arm and finally down at the 10.
3 missed tackles on that play. The 3 Cougars could have ended that a whole lot sooner, but give her credit. She wasn't going to go down.
It's about a 53-yard run. She is, by the way, definitely over 100 yards.
Yes.
I'm not great with math, but stiff arms and just a little bit. It almost looked like that 75-yard touchdown run that Kiana Williams had last year where she used the entire field at Slippery Rock. Unfortunately for Cincinnati, that isn't this. See, 1st and 10 play. Now Chavez will bootleg out to her left. She's just going to keep on inside the 10. Cincinnati pushing the boundary shorter and shorter. Take her down around the 8.
Pittsburgh is going with an unbalanced front to the wide side of the field several times, and on that particular play, sometimes the Cougars have adjusted. That time they did not. They need to understand that, and now it's not. They're back to normal. When they're with that unbalance, you got to shift over, or you're going to have those big creases like that available.
Just under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Pittsburgh trying to push their lead to 35. So you go with a handoff. Bounce left side for Cody Johnson, and the tight end walks into the end zone. It's an 8-yard touchdown run, and it's now 34-0 Pittsburgh. Cody Johnson has just 4 carries on the year. 2 of them have been for touchdowns.
She did. She smelled that end zone when she got past that first block or the first defender. You could tell she was getting into the end zone. Nothing was going to stop her.
Pittsburgh used 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go 86 yards over the course of 6 plays. Actually, 5 plays. Not even counting the fact they had to pick up an extra 10 yards after the penalty. So Johnson, after just scoring, now on to attempt the extra points. Boots that one straight up and through. It's 35-0 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has pretty much had their way ever since that opening drive. Their offense has just been a machine. Getting not long, just chunks of yardage time and time again.
Now be honest, people who know, your son being the head coach, how much of that conversation with him is, hey, did you guys do this? Did you try that? Or is it just your dad with the sympathetic ear?
I try not to do the first, but there'll be a little of both. But I'll ask also. But he and I talk pretty often, so he knew coming into this game that there were going to be some challenges for them. So I don't think I'm sure he's shocked and disappointed at the score and kind of the way they've played. But a lot of it, he and I have had the conversation about having multiple fronts on defense, and he really loves his 3-5 But so other than that, I'll try to be in a game like this. I'll try to be sympathetic. If it's a close one, they lose, then I challenge it. But like, there's not much he or any of the coaching staff probably could have done in this game.
So they're one of those odd balls that Cincinnati has to field coming the wrong way and having to start at their own 21. You say that stuff now, but he can easily just watch this back. You're going to get a text immediately after this part of the third quarter. You'll know right when he watches it back.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you mean?
He may not watch it back with that sound. I'm sure he's one of these things that he's not going to be real thrilled at watching this film, although he's a film junkie. He watches a lot of it. So, again, for him, and if you're a Cougar fan or whatever, you're trying to see some positivity happen, because right now, the last drive was not bad, but they just cannot seem to finish offensively, and defensively, tackling has been a big issue.
Lights are on, Brian, except for those two. Light cam, we'll get back to that. Mason working out of the shotgun, tried to, at least it looked like, change of play. Wanted to throw inside, little pop pass on the run. Right idea with the alley-oop because the tight end was behind a handful of defenders. But just kind of as it's gone, Cincinnati's not able to get what they want.
It's just a slightly overthrown, but you said if they changed that or made that call at the line of scrimmage, it was a good change, a good call. Just the ball was just a little bit outside the reach.
I think it's a nice play to try to throw somebody who's 5'8", 5'9".
Totally agree.
Just the fact that it's one of those where you go, all right, maybe we can go back to that later. So Mason will go back into the shotgun with a receiver left and right split out wide. Down now 35-0 at 7:28 in the third. Straight drop looking left, coming back, and pass interference coming up?
They're going to call pass interference on that one. She was pulled down as she was trying to reach for the ball. And the sad part for the Pittsburgh folks, I don't think was necessary. I don't think she had to do it, but she did.
When that ball came out, I thought there had to be a misread, honestly, at first, just based on the way it went. Oh, yeah. We just watched it back. And I'm pretty sure if you're Haley Coomer and you just grab the jersey of the player in front of you and snag them down, it's probably a penalty. The line judge just kind of looked of, do I have to be the one to throw this flag? Did you guys see it happen too? So the penalty will give Cincinnati their first down since that first drive right before the incomplete pass where things kind of went awry.
Yeah.
So now they do walk it off, move all the way up to the 36-yard line. Credit the officials, though, for working together and making sure they're getting things right.
Yeah, because you're right. In games like this, it's easy for them to do nothing.
See sweep to Shea Franklin, and a fumble. It's going to cost Cincinnati the football. Pittsburgh, all they do is force fumbles. Their defensive line, everybody has at least one or two, and they do it again.
That was sadly it was a nice positive play. I think they were trying to get an extra yard or so, and she was ripped from backside, and they just ripped it out.
So Pittsburgh will take over at 7-18 left in the first part of the second half. You got to be feeling pretty good right now if you're the Passion.
Oh, they're hitting on all cylinders offensively and defensively.
It's a big reason why they're the number one ranked team in the country. See a handoff again. Napo right up the middle. If I had a pick for MVP, it would probably be her. Just kind of showing, hey, this is my show now. Picks up 4.
Another great fill by Church for the Cougars. She's been one of the bright spots defensively for them. She's had some really nice hits.
It's another handoff, trying to just kind of find the way out. Holding penalty coming up, and we will rock you. Cincinnati enough to make that tackle.
And that was the time. That's the play you want to look at and say, how did we set the edge on this play? Because it was successfully done. Then you allowed Church as your linebacker to fill through and make that tackle. And there's going to be a penalty for holding on the Passion as well.
Janine Church, 56 tackles last year for third in the nation. The captain this year, number 8 with 24. But I watched a lot of Cincinnati's TikTok videos, and more than maybe I care to admit. But I went down a rabbit hole, and I love what her center, Sarah Thornton, said about her. She would pick her if there was a zombie apocalypse. That's pretty high praise.
That is.
It's a quick throw for Pittsburgh. They got almost all those yards back.
They've changed quarterbacks.
About the only thing that you could say that would be more trusting would be to trust her with the aux cord, which is now just obsolete because I'm old. What another good play and a pickup. What was it Pittsburgh saw there?
Oh, that's gonna add insult to injury there. And it's, again, they've got a different quarterback in now. Is it 25? Is that the quarterback?
It's like 28.
28. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Emma Gurley.
I could have said anything to you. You would have went for it.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. That makes sense. And she threw a nice pass right there.
They call it Pittsburgh as their home. I guarantee it's something short out of there. So she'll go with the quarterback Heber, trying to just kind of turn tail, and eventually on the way gets back to the 20, the original line of scrimmage. A little bit about her. She started at John Carroll University, the Blue Streaks, before they left the OAC. Had a pretty good run. Westminster College as well. This kind of finally feels like one of those that Cincinnati knew that cutback was coming.
Yes.
It's now on 2nd down and 10. Gurley with 2 by 2. Bootlegs out to the left. Another quick fake. Cincinnati had it played perfectly on the inside. And the touchdown the interception rather, in and out of the hands.
Yeah, that's been a kind of a sticking point. Their last game, they had a pick six, but they probably had 2 or 3 more they could have had that they had dropped on the defense, and that was one right there. They read it perfectly, just could not bring it in.
It was a great play there with that blitz, kind of the way that everything worked. I think it was Church.
It was Church, yes.
Got her fingers on it. I was looking at the reflective visor, and it threw me off. So now another blitz coming left side of the ball, just kind of lobbed out near the sticks. That was individual play right there, because you're one-on-one on that back end of the receiver has to kind of overrun towards the sideline, not able to come back because the Cougars cut it off.
That was Church again, I believe. It was. But that was a nice throw, a nice catch for the Passion. So their backup quarterback coming in here showing that she can still lead this offense.
So, look, I can throw too. 5:10 to go in the third quarter. 35-0 Pittsburgh. Shout out to all the folks watching and taking this in wherever they are getting it from. I know it's on multiple things. We appreciate you being with us. This quarterback bootlegs to the right now. Again, just run. I don't know why. She threw to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. I don't know if they do ballet like that in Pittsburgh, but that was an absolute toe tap for a score.
Absolutely was. And it's NCAA. I'm not sure the 2 feet would have counted for the NFL, but for the NCAA rules, that's a touchdown.
I'm not sure you need it at that point. Just an absolutely beautiful dime of a throw. There's only one spot and one person that can go to.
It was very impressive on both the throw and the catch.
So that touchdown caught by Bethany Meyer. That's her second. Almost the exact same way that she just kind of, she's not big. 5'3", snuck behind the defense. The extra point up and good, and I believe that's Lizzie Martz. Now to make it a 42-0 lead for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this has been kind of the nightmare for what the Cougars had thought. They've not been able to do offensively or defensively, been able to get any momentum other than a driver here or a drive there. It looked like that. They had the penalty. Looks like they had an interception that was dropped. The next play, they come back and they were able to throw a very nice pass into the end zone. But again, nothing to go on the Cougars' way tonight.
It was Lizzie Meyer with the extra point, which means that Casey Martz is probably over the moon right now for her sister. What can you kind of take away from this so far? You're through the first 2.5 quarters if you're Cincinnati.
Well, I think you've got some big answers to fill. Well, defensively, they've got some just fundamental things they need to take care of. So that's what you get to work on. The other thing is offensively, you're going to have to throw when they don't want you to, or when they're not expecting you to throw. I think that's the big thing because they're playing such, and it's the same thing that happened last game against Music City. They play so tight.
Two players cannot occupy the same spot. I understand how gravity works. But sometimes it works out. Another good return. So the return game, kind of the one big plus right now.
Yeah. So for me, the big thing is that they've got to figure out how they can. You don't have to be a great throwing team, but you've got to be able enough so that you can
keep them honest.
Yeah, exactly. Keep them honest. Keep them from keeping 9 people up in the box and stopping your run game. Because I still think the bread and butter of this Cougar team is going to be that run game.
It's an offense that's running for 216 yards a game. They're throwing for just 59. We talked about that, though. It's not without. There have been some really good passes. The defense has been right there.
Exactly. And then again, as far as the passing, against St. Louis, the 2 passes that they had for touchdowns were they were beautiful. But just don't see enough of that. A little inconsistent.
So working again out of that shotgun split set. Mason will take the snap, hands left, trying to just kind of get some kind of motion going. And like we said, you make the defense have to guess what you're doing.
They got a player down. That's not good.
A gain of 5 on the play before the timeout on the field.
If that's Kylie, I can't tell, but that's
who carried the ball.
And if that's her, that would be truly insult to injury because she's been the one positive thing we've seen this night is the spurts that she's had.
I actually think it might be Haley Tippett.
It could be Haley Tippett. I'm trying to look for on the.
Again, I cheat and look at the screen.
Good for you because I'm looking at this huddle see if I can find Kylie someplace else and I couldn't. That's why I was.
Hopefully this is just, kind of a cramp thing.
You're right. That's Tippett.
The only reason I know, usually it's because of her gloves.
And it looked like it might just have been one of those stingers as well because it looked like she had a dead arm there for a second. So that's a possibility. It was just a stinger.
Kind of one of those things where she threw a block hard enough to get through 2 defenders, and it then just kind of collapsed. But Taylor tried to follow her right back through the hole. Again, Pittsburgh's defense, it's not like it's a shock out of a blue-collar thing in the Berg. They've done their damage so far. 42-0. Midway through was the quick hand coming right side.
That's Church.
And Church is going to get a carry for about 3 or 4 yards. Makes it a manageable 3rd down. And what you talked about earlier on about having Haley Tippett be the hammer in these kind of situations, you kind of don't have her right now because of the last play.
Exactly. So now what you'd normally do is probably not available for you. We haven't really talked about one of their players who I don't think is here tonight and is, as you mentioned, her play here last year, is Kiana Williams. They counted heavily on Kiana, and she is not here. I don't know why that is, but that's another big blow for the Cougars offense is not having her available.
It's also kind of how things changed after she injured her ankle in the game last year after ripping off a 73-yard touchdown. But why not? Just keep going to church. It's almost Sunday. So handoff goes for 8 yards and a 1st down.
Church has got those quick feet from her linebacker position, be able to change position. She shows that as a running back as well. You just got to be careful of not overusing her too much.
You mean you can't have a player play every play both sides?
At one time in the old days they could, but anymore that's a.
Jacksonville tried it with Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
it's worked out real well. So now on 1st and 10 inside Pittsburgh territory. Mason looking to throw. A quick comeback and a bobble. That might have been an off to the races sort of deal if that was caught.
that's been a bugaboo for this team. They've had several of those type of just in their hand type of drops, not just tonight, but all season long.
I think what it was she was confused by the strobe lights. Just like, it's Saturday night. It's all right to play football, but also I want to dance. It would be. It's got to be annoying, though, as a right side receiver.
I would think, and you can see the shade going on and off on the field over there now. So it's not like they don't notice it. You're going to notice it if you're a player.
So Mason, I'm just throwing to try to hit the light. Just knock it back into sorts. Works out of the gun here on 2nd and 10. Wow. I bought that fake, so much so that I watched 4 players run into each other and an incomplete pass down the field.
Unfortunately, I think she found the wrong receiver. The tight end here had gotten about 5 to 7 yards behind any defender, and I don't think she saw her.
I'm not sure that play went how it was drawn up.
I don't disagree.
Unless mass confusion. Because everybody for Pittsburgh thought this kind of the same thing I did, where there were only 2 defenders out there. The safety kind of came over the top in Jasmine Jones. So now a much different 3rd down than we had a minute ago. Angel Mason now with a quick step back, look for that inside screen. Oh, Shea in and out of the hands of Shea Franklin.
They have just struggled catching the football. It's just on the fundamental things that, and they're going to go for it. Obviously, you're down 42 points. At this point, what difference does it make?
People want to know about the after-game dance party under the strobe lights. You should probably check TikTok. That'll probably happen. Kevin will be out there. You can find him later.
Yeah. You won't find me dancing. If it is,
hey, you know what? If it's good for 1 million views. 4th down and 10. Now Mason bootleg out to the right. Protection is there. She's going to try to run and pick it up, and she's able to do just that. You know you get a 1st down when you hit the stick going the opposite way.
To give her credit, the 2 times she's decided to tuck and run have been critical times to do it, and she's done really nice. She has a nice spurt when she does run. She really does. She might be the same age as Tom Brady, but she actually has better wheels than he does, I believe.
Unless it's to go cash a check, and then Tom's probably going to beat her.
Yeah, that's true.
Tom's not met a check he doesn't like. I just saw him admit that the other day. But when you're the GOAT and you have 7 titles, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you is exactly right.
Maybe the ref, yeah, it's a good point. Maybe the ref will be over there after the game dancing. So now on 1st and 10, after just a terrific decision to run, Cincinnati going to try to run again. Taylor had a little bit of a hesitation, and it actually got her through the hole to get 7 yards.
I'm almost thinking that they need to continue with that and force Pittsburgh to kind of squeeze in and now try to hit back outside. That's one of the things they haven't. Back to what we've seen Pittsburgh do. Run 4 or 5 plays and run them very well. Run that play again until they stop it.
History has shown it's going to take a minute. Now on 2nd down and 3. Clock at under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Down 42-0 is Cincinnati, but not giving up because that's not how the city works. 5-1-3 above all. See, handoff there. Little stutter. Now bring it to the outside. Trying to get around the corner and across the 25. Penalty flag. I felt like it seemed pretty obvious. Again, generally when you throw the defender to the ground from behind. And that's a shame, too, because that's a nice decision, a cutback and a run to get Taylor going.
Really was. That was a really back to the point. She went upside and bounced it. And it wasn't as egregious as I originally thought at watching the replay here. She just held on a little long. I mean, you know, in today's world, you can grab inside the shoulders and almost never call it. But when they pull away, if you're still holding on to it, they're going to call it.
So now 2nd down goes back to 10 yards. About a minute and a half to go in at quarter 3 in a 42-0 game. Cincinnati responding to the latest touchdown for Pittsburgh. Mason looking to throw. She had one-on-one and a comeback. Thrown just a bit high and outside.
Again, not a great throw, but a throw you're hoping your receiver can come back and help you out a little bit, even though it wasn't perfectly on thing. But they just haven't been able to pull those passes in all year.
So everybody stopped about the same way. I was watching the replay to see. It's a replay to me. It's live to you. To see if maybe you kind of pump fake one way and come back the other way. Because there's only one defender on the opposite side of the field. But it's such a quick play. You don't. Wow, that's busted.
Yep.
You don't really have much of an option on the way to do that. And that's kind of what you were talking about earlier on about the deception that what Pittsburgh's been able to do, because they've run those pitch plays, run that RPO, and then eventually kind of change that, hit a deep ball or hit something across the middle.
But like you said, you mentioned, you got to figure out something positive, get something going here that you can build off going into the next game, because they got a tough one again. If you're the Cougar fan, if you're Pittsburgh, you got to be feeling pretty good. You're starting to say now, okay, who are my depth players? Who are the people that I can count on in case someone goes down?
Plus, you're going back home to take on a Tampa team that you absolutely obliterated in the opener, which was only 3 weeks ago. So a bunch set here on the right side. Mason will fake, looking to throw, steps up, and that ball is going to be nearly intercepted. I didn't know if she was going to be able to get that off, because the pressure kind of got there as she went to release that ball.
Yeah, agreed. That's the pressure came late. To her credit, she saw it coming. She just stepped in and threw it anyway. Although I don't necessarily know that would have been, again, you're fourth and, or at that time 3rd and 15. You're trying to just make something happen.
So now 4th and 15. What is the 11th play of this drive? And the crazy thing about that is this drive has not even gone 3 minutes. But Cincinnati able to move from their own 40. Now they're at the opposite 40. Mason's going to work 2x2 out of the shotgun. She'll wait, bring a receiver in motion. Inside jet screen blown up by the Pittsburgh defensive line.
Yeah.
And that is again at Caitlin Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer just boomstick.
Just blew up the left tackle for the Cougars and just pushed her out of the way and came up and made that tackle.
So Pittsburgh back in action now with 1:22 and an offense that I'd be willing to bet, I don't have the exact number, that has over 300 yards of total offense.
Oh, I would 100% agree. I bet they're probably well into the 300s at this point, because again, they've been able to do pretty much what they want.
It's never good when you see the director just take off running. Thought maybe he's going to get one of those free hot dogs. I don't know if it's buy one, get one free yet. But Pittsburgh now working out of the shotgun. We talked about their change at quarterback, but their change of production didn't go as much. As I say that, Sarah Paladin gets a knock down. Good push up front by Cincinnati. Actually ended up gaining a yard.
Yeah, Cincinnati's strictly in a forefront right now, and it seems to help them somewhat by going to that forefront. So maybe that's something they found.
I always know when someone who makes a tackle's family is in the building. As a highlight level catch.
Are they going to?
That only goes for 3 yards, but that's one of the more impressive catches I've seen tonight.
I would agree.
Which is saying something. Cody Johnson showing out.
Again, these players are all trying to show up and say, hey, get me the ball. I can play.
City forgot I could jump. Quarterback keeper now on the right side. Not enough. The Cougars just kind of smelled it out. So we're down. That might be the last play of the quarter.
Unless they do their hurry up thing like they do a lot, I think you're right. I think that's going to be the last play. It is. It's going to be the last play of the
Well, I know they can't spike it. It's 4th down. They won't have to go far, though, to flip the field. Just, again, another one of those great kind of individual ISO plays. You see the tackle there. So Ashley Skaggs didn't have to go far. She's from Cincinnati. So going into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do if you're Cincinnati's, those goose eggs offensively, they hurt. You never forget those as a coach or as a player. So they're gonna do whatever they can to put something on the board. You don't like seeing those goose eggs sit out there, that's for sure.
Probably makes it a little bit worse that, again, it's Pittsburgh if you're Cincinnati. So not them again. I always used to kind of laugh, though, being from Northwest Ohio and Ben Roethlisberger being from Findlay, that both Ohio teams got just tormented by a kid from Ohio.
It seems that happens a lot. Carter also had field days against the Cincinnati Bengals as well. An Ohio kid who talks now about how he feels bad for folks when they have to play in Cincinnati because he feels like that franchise just can't figure it out.
There's that. I'm not going to get hate mail. All the Pittsburgh people are happy. I can talk about them.
I probably should have meant Carter. Then the Pittsburgh fans probably don't love him a lot, but
I don't know. Right now, I think that they're more jovial. So I'm pretty sure Cody Johnson's going to punt this ball. A couple of punts for her all in the year, and Cincinnati with 15 minutes up on the clock, looking at the wrong end of a goose egg at 42-0. Rush comes.
Wow.
Good punt on at least one that'll take a bounce, roll into the end zone.
not even going to make it to the end zone. 2-yard line, 3-yard line. Wow. That you couldn't draw it up as a punt team any better. If you
53 yards on the coffin corner. And they get 52 yards.
I think you're going to see the Cougars do a lot of mass substitutions on their offense to get some of those players out there and give them a chance to show out and do some things. This is a tough spot to step in and do that, though, on your own 3-yard line.
I do want to say, though, and shout out to the Cougars organization, because tonight here inside the stadium at Mount St. Joe, it is Mental Health Awareness Night, and they've done a lot for that, and especially tonight with a lot of the folks that they've brought in. I think that may be the thing that people forget sometimes is it's about using your platform to do things, and they've done a great job of that.
They do a great job as an organization. I've been impressed with all the things they're involved with across the city. Again, not knowing that much about it, but you're right. They do a great job trying to take advantage of that and making it be good.
So Cincinnati now trying to work out of their own end zone. Just kind of quarterback draw and see what you can get. Drawing up a nice gain, though, about 6 yards.
Well, I know that you can talk to my son as a quarterback or as a coach. He's very impressed with the athleticism of his backup quarterback. He said she needs to work on some things fundamentally throwing the ball, but he said athletically she's very impressive.
6-footer out of Burlington, Kentucky, Kelsey Gotterwis. Went to the University of Louisville. L's up and all that. My wife would hate that because she's a huge Kentucky basketball fan.
My daughter's a graduate of Louisville, so we're used to that same thing.
Red people and blue people don't like each other all that much. So Gotterwis is just going to keep on keeping on. Remember, earlier on in the game, she actually had to come in for a play.
Right.
She picks up a first down here. Nice run of 4.
Yeah, I'm one of those few people on the Kentucky side of the river who've never been a Kentucky fan. So actually, I'm not a Louisville fan either. I don't dislike Louisville, but I'm not a Louisville fan either. So it's I'm pretty lonely during basketball season.
Well, as a North Carolina fan, I have all kinds of other problems. That's maybe just because we don't even have a full team. Or
I might get to be at North Carolina this year. I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish ticket holder, and I might get to go to that game.
You poor man. Go to the Smith Center before they take it down. So Gotterwis is just going to try to keep running right back up the middle. Nearly picked up another first down. Actually, she's right at the stick.
She got it. They're waving her on. She's impressive with her speed. She's like I said, she's tall. She's has a pretty good spurt.
Cincinnati running pretty well right now. Just kind of got to keep it up. Run down that dream Tom Petty's always talking about. 12:45 left in the fourth quarter. Lights on bright now. Well, all except for 2 of them.
But look, you can see it. So the players have to be affected by that.
I'm affected by just trying to watch the game. The official on the other side has to be super
bad
nervous.
Snap.
That's
it's the first bad snap we've seen today.
Again, it's kind of a combination of two people at the same spot, mass and all of that. Some guy talking about gravity. They only lose about half a yard.
Yeah, I think the snap was short, and it kind of threw the timing off, and both the quarterback and apparently the running back decided I'm going to go catch that ball.
Well, they had the same idea. Somebody's got to get it. Somebody not wearing a yellow jersey. They're probably tired of hearing black and yellow at this point. I'm impressed with whoever's got the cowbells in the crowd. I don't know how much of it you can hear, but it's all I hear. 2x2 out of the shotgun for Gotterwissel on a 2nd and 11. Tries to push up, but the defensive line came right back into it.
Yeah, that time they've seen that play run one too many times. They were prepared for it that time.
I still say it's got to be a felony in the city of Pittsburgh not to wear black and yellow everywhere for everything. Formal occasion, your best black and yellow. So Cincinnati, after a promising start to this drive, looking up on a long 3rd down. 11:09 to go. It's down 42-0. Now you're just kind of trying to figure out some things and kind of maybe what might work next week when you're back at home. See, a handoff, that works. How about that? Just a great push by the offensive line.
I'm going to guess that's Church.
And if it's not, it should be. It is.
It's the way she runs, the way she moves it. She's fairly impressive in the way she does that.
Speed and violence.
Yes, exactly.
Just as quick as in and out of that break as you can get. You can just see. I feel like she's, again, there's a reason why her quarterback said I would pick her in a zombie apocalypse. She's just going to destroy everything. 10:15 to go as the check of the wristband. Trips right. If it worked the first time, try it again. Even with somebody on her back, she took a German suplex and picked up 5 yards.
She did. And she's jumping up with, she's played a lot of football tonight, and she's jumping up like it's the first quarter. Now this is where you can now have some success. Now you pull it back out, and the quarterback can run and see how that works because – now the church is giving them something to look at. Now you can try a little bit of fake it to church, and you keep it. Little zone read.
I just read maybe my favorite comment in the chat the whole night. I'll tell you after this play. It's the quarterback keeper. Unfortunately, all it's going to be keeping is Pittsburgh's defensive line at bay, jumping on top of Gotterwissel. My favorite of the day, somehow she got back to the 40-yard line. Shout out to Emily Martz. Cotton Eye Joe playing while it's matching the lights is hard to focus. Because if it had not been for Cotton Eye Joe, I believe we'd have been married a long time ago.
Funny.
I don't know where he came from or where he went. I'm just making him. If you could only see what's happening next to me, they're just dancing next door now. So the referee, everybody in the building are all going to be under the lights having a hoedown. Gotterwissel. Oh, and a fumbled snap. Tried to fall right on top of it. Tried to make something out of it. But unfortunately, the 35-yard line is going to be where she resides now.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think, though, is different groups working with one another?
Well, it's a new center for sure, and she probably doesn't have as many snaps as the starter, so you're seeing that. So I think it has a lot to do with that. They probably don't get as much they don't get as much practice time. So yeah, this is definitely those type of things. We didn't see a bad snap the whole game until this series here. We've seen a couple.
Nyasha Brokaw out of Cuyahoga Falls up there in Cleveland. They got one. They got one of those Northeast Ohio girls to come over to the other side. It's always got to be a fun trip. Loss of about 5 on the play. So Gotterwissel stands in the shotgun, little protector to the left, punches one high, and overshot the intended receiver.
Tough throw to make there, running to your left as a right-handed quarterback. That's a tough throw, and like you said, she just kind of didn't square her shoulders a lot as the ball just sailed on her.
I'm not so sure, though, that her eyes didn't get huge because she saw how wide open the receiver was.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's maybe the hardest thing to fight as a quarterback is not to just punch one up there.
It's the typical, as you're the receiver and that ball's coming down and there's no one within 10. That's the hardest ones to catch because it's easy to lose your concentration.
Third time now that Pittsburgh has started in Cincinnati territory. I'm just glad we're amusing the chat because really that's all we're here for. It's the receiver in motion. Wow, that was an interesting double move. Forced the quarterback to try to fire one across the middle. And unless that's Barry Larkin over there, nothing's going to happen on that field.
But she did the right thing. I don't know if that was planned or she read that because the Cougars had read that play. If they threw it to the original receiver, that might have been a pick six. And then she pulled it back and she put some heat on that ball.
I thought for sure that was going to be that screen you're talking about on the bottom, and I kept thinking that's not going to work, but man. Shohei Ohtani be thrilled about that fastball. So you hand off for Pittsburgh, running right side now, just running lawlessly.
That crease has been there the entire game, and they've been able to run right off that tackle, both left and right side.
I believe that's Natalia Fabian out of Ambridge, Pennsylvania, whose school is just listed on this sheet that I have as college.
College. Maybe it's Penn State. College
You think there was
Station.
a guy named Bluto there? This might be a different college. Never mind. It's Pittsburgh trying to throw short here on third down.
Might be showing your age there.
I'm not even – the thing is, that's older than me. Great tackle by Cincinnati. Again, open space, and it seemed that just for a split second – they were able to confuse Cody Johnson on where she wanted to go, and had she kept running to the sideline, she might have gotten that. So the Passion tasked with fourth down. Really, I just noticed she tried to swim move over the top. It's just great defense by Cincinnati and Ashley Skaggs. Well, you got timeouts. You got to take them home with you. They don't fit on your bus outside.
That's right.
There's no place to put them. 6:29 in the fourth quarter, a 42-0 lead for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has not scored since 4:47 to go in the third to make it 42-0. Their second touchdown pass of the game to Meyer. First one was 31 in the first half. Second was 18-ish. I didn't write it down. I'm just guessing. But 2 touchdowns in the second half. Outside of that, turnover on downs times 3 and a fumble for Cincinnati on their possessions.
Yeah, the thing that Pittsburgh's done is very impressive is stopping any big plays. They've had not the big chunk yards. They've made, even on the drive that Cincinnati's had, they've only had 6, 7, 8, maybe a 10 or 12 yard, but they've never allowed a big play. And as a result, Cincinnati's not been able to make that long, sustained drive and to get in the end zone.
Pittsburgh working out of the I formation after 6 and 7, make an appearance, and no dice.
Going to be short.
A gain of 1, but a turnover on downs. Terrific play defensively.
Number 53. Is that 53 or 54? Yes, 53. Nice play by Laura Cantrell. That was really nice. She came in there, hit it. She's maintained the thing and stopped her short. And now the Cougars have a chance one last time to put something on the board.
At least kind of trying to finish on a high note.
Exactly.
So you're probably not going to win the game. 42-0 with 6:23 to go. There have been some leads that have been blown. Ask Atlanta. But it's a big hill to climb.
Yeah, it is.
Now Goddard takes the high snap, puts it right in the belly of the back, and again, Cincinnati on that kind of inside draw.
Shooting fireworks. I mean, the Reds must have hit a home run.
There's no way the Reds did anything good. They played 2 today.
Today they didn't. Today was not a very good day to be a Cincinnati Reds fan, that's for sure.
So the worst part about it is if you're Cincinnati, lose to the Cardinals, they're up 6-4 in the 7th.
The Reds are?
Yep. They just got a huge strikeout.
They're right in their weak spot, their bullpen.
As a Cleveland fan, I'd like to agree with you, but I got my own problems. So ball out to the 34. Goddard just going to keep it herself off left side, right up through it. She took a wallop, but got the first down at the 40.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's been able to pick up first downs on this drive, or in this quarter, rather. They are stomping along downstairs.
They're happy to see any kind of positive activity here from the Cougars.
I love that the lady down here in front of us is just juggling this little baby. It's all fun and games until you remember that he just ate a hot dog. Then you find out. I get it. Scotterwist again in the shotgun. Easy to spot with the long blonde hair. Hands off, and again, shifty moves, and that kind of inside for Cincinnati. I talked about it. They gained another 8 yards.
That seems to have been their bread and butter today. They have not done well on the outside. Pittsburgh shut that down since that first drive. But inside the tackles, they should have listened to you. They should have been pounding that thing all day long, because that's really the only thing that's been consistent.
They should never listen to me.
I don't think the outcome would be worse if they did. Let's put it that way.
That's what you think. Travis would have other problems. It's like, why'd that go so bad? I'd be like, I don't know, the guy in the booth.
But they've had some success between the tackles. They really have.
Again, trying to figure out with kind of a combination of second and third unit what you can do well. Running the pitch. That should not have gotten as close to a first down as it was, but
they got it.
The offensive line, credit to them for holding their blocks and kind of allowing the windowsill open. They're still dancing downstairs. Root on the Cougars trying to at least finish off with a score.
It would do a lot, even though the loss is going to sting. Putting points on the board makes it a lot easier to show back up in practice this week.
There will be a lot of unhappy people to your right if that happens.
I'm sure that is the case.
Trips left and a single receiver for Godarus. We're just guessing songs the DJ is going to play now for the lights in the chat. Godarus straight back, needs to get rid of it, throws sidearm, and it is picked off. Just kind of one of those rushes, the backside blitz, forcing a throw that maybe she didn't want, kind of came up. Sidearm, and Pittsburgh able to pick that one off. And I believe that is Rebecca Airgood who came up with it. Just kind of off the back foot.
Yeah, it was a play with 2 points. You're getting pressure. I think she tried to sidestep, but as a result was not able to step into the throw and thus left it short. As a result, it was picked, and Pittsburgh will have it here and have assuming the one last offensive series for him.
Well, I think one of the coordinators just left. He's trying to beat traffic. I don't know where he's going, but he's trying to beat or he's trying to get to the dance party.
That could be.
It's another quick spurt. There was a good block there at the end for Pittsburgh. I didn't see who it was, but I believe that's Natalia Fabian again. She's fast. I'd like to tell you something fancy here, but she's fast.
She's hitting that same crease that all day long they've been able to attack.
I'm tired just watching her. 3:11 to go now, and a 42-0 lead. If it worked the first seven times, crease, go right back to her.
Side.
She didn't stay with it, though. Went straight, and Cincinnati pushed it back and just enough to force her into a 3-yard loss.
In that time, we have number 54, Kylie Anthony, with a nice play. Grab it, again, inside out, making the tackle.
Kylie out of Florence, y'all. Just down the road. I love that water tower. They used to tell me I was at the mall. They used to have a really good sports card show over there. What a first down run is in the cards for the Passion. They changed up their running backs. That is going to be Ariel Smith out of Peabody High School with the first down. I like the pink spat. That's my favorite part.
It's a good look.
Just across the 2-minute stoppage.
Outside.
That's a deep toss. Now, she ends up picking up about 7 yards, but she had to run about 20.
Yeah, they line their tailbacks deep. Their tailbacks are about 8 to 9 yards deep, which is pretty deep.
At the 2-minute stoppage. Because I'm not getting yelled at by Goodell. We'll come after everybody. But what do you take away from this? I mean, 42-0, you're obviously taking on the number one team in the country. They are number one for a reason. We've seen they do all the things well. I don't know where you can kind of try to chisel away with where the mistake is, but find me one or two good things you can take out of this if you're Cincinnati.
I think if you're Cincinnati, to your point, you see some your linebacker Church she's a game changer. So, and maybe she needs to play a little more offense. I think you have some fundamental things on defense you have to fix, and that is that outside zone or that crease between off the tackle. That's been a problem for you. If you can fix that and force them to run the ball between the tackles, they did not have a lot of success doing that because they didn't have to. So that's the one thing is I think there's a few things that if you fix those things, you can get better quick.
I just like to point this out. While he's giving this great knockdown of what happens, I look over and I see two jokers to my left just dancing. To, hey, now you're an all-star.
Hey.
Oh, what a block. My goodness. A great block and an even better tackle.
Very nice tackle. So that's the thing. The other thing I'd say is you've seen some players who weren't with the main group that have come out and done very well and made some very big plays for them. So that's always a positive when you see some people that are stepping up. So now maybe you say, hey, we can give Church a break on defense and play a little offense. Maybe those are the type of things you look at.
That is just an absolutely terrific string out. As it would appear that Fabian's going to get a bulk of the carries. She tried to bounce to the outside and got caught. Was that Baja Carter, by the way, that made that last set of tackles, the Western Michigan Bronco.
Baja Carter is a great name.
I just like that as a nickname because I'm very partial to that shade of Mountain Dew. Just, again, just massive tackles at the end of this game. 4th down, or we're under a minute. And then the dance party can ensue. Oomph, oomph, and all that.
They ran a reverse.
Wow, long-handed version of that reverse. And it does not work because of a string-at-shoe tackle. That's a nice play. Just to be able to stay home to recognize that's coming. I think it's Ashley Skaggs again.
Skaggs did. She made a nice stay there and shoestring tackle. Tackled her short of the first down. And you might see a kneel down potentially here. I don't know what they'll do. It's 33 seconds left.
Well, that's how last year ended in Pittsburgh. With Pittsburgh ahead. Hopefully you've at least, if nothing else, enjoyed the game. You can tell your friends all about it.
Well, if you've not seen it, watch it because the level of play is better than you expect, and it is entertaining. It is.
Cincinnati will take over on 1st and 10, 33 seconds to go. They'll pretty much just run the shorthanded version of that kneel down. So I think that could easily be the last play. So Gatto was able to take the run, but Pittsburgh is going to march out of Cincinnati with a 42-0 victory. The final 10 seconds up. Gatto was just kind of looking to try to find something. Ran into a pile. Got the first down. So it does end on a positive note for Cincinnati.
That's going to be it.
Now you can cue the light show. So Pittsburgh will go to 3-0 on the year. They will go home to take on the Inferno next Saturday from Tampa, host the DC Divas, and then Cincinnati will visit on June the 13th. Cincinnati's got the DC Divas next Saturday. We hope that you have enjoyed the national game of the week. For Kevin Connor and Mike Hearn, have a great night. And any better tomorrow from all of us here at Mount St. Joe.
we're all football players. Y'all are football players, okay?
Down it. Tatsiala's going to go straight ahead. Got a receiver caught, touchdown. They're back by him. What a catch.
Houdiniacs. Sideline, she breaks another tackle. They've got one for
Here you go.
Good work.
Look at this progress. You're doing great.
You'll be back to yourself in no time.
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight.
That's something.
The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
And as we can see, the future of technology is with us. You might be thinking, Doc, this is truly amazing. And we got
Hey, is the projector ready? Come on, time for a team meeting.
Supportive.
Grateful.
Inspiring.
Connected. Integrated.
Community. Communication.
Great.
Fun.
Meaningful.
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional.
Care.
Opportunities. Excellent. Passionate.
Family. Family.
Awesome.
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight. That's something. The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
Here you go.
Good work.
Look at this progress. You're doing great.
You'll be back to yourself in no time.
To her left, has time, throws on the run to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Pittsburgh TD.
The athletes, they're the backbone of this whole league, and they're just amazing people. They've got amazing stories.
Barrett in the pattern, they're looking for her. Able to bring that one in, Brianna Barrett. My goodness.
I never thought I'd be here. I feel like the best things in life are things that come to you unexpected. So it's been a great journey for me.
I know this is where I'm supposed to be.
Caught touchdown, Jada Meister.
Essentially, it's true of breaking barriers, right?
She could go all the way, and she does. Touchdown.
We're shattering the glass ceiling.
Great pass.
all of the women role models that we look up to are all women who did things that were not expected.
They realize they're pioneers. They realize that the trail that they leave is going to be a path that a young girl can follow.
It gives you hope. They believe in themselves, I believe in them, and Franco believes in all of us, so it just goes with the territory.
One team!